Yo, welcome to Ask a Black Man welcome to Ask a Black Man Any to high value Shannon, only a Shannon, so is the content. This is an impromptu show with my guy King, and we're speaking about some issues that King has had on YouTube lately. Um, and King is and the ability for him to get his point of view out. Apparently, that hasn't been happening, and there's been a lot of trending information going on over the last uh, I'll say shit for 2 weeks with King. King and I, we met about 7 months ago on Clubhouse. A lot of people use the app Clubhouse. Maybe if some of you are familiar with a group over there called Ask a Black Man Anything, and we do a Tuesday and Thursday on Ask a Black Man Anything, and that's where we met. And King happens to be my frat brother, and we've become friends from there. And we've taken that to a different platform off of Clubhouse and moved it over to YouTube, and we do a live streaming show on YouTube. The thing about King though is King is very straight to the point. King is very straight to the point with how he feels and the things that he wants to get across. He doesn't pull any punches when it comes to his point of view. And um, as a result of that, a lot of people invite him to their platform. And so, well, hold on one second. I just had a King. Give me a quick second. So a lot of people pull him up to the platform. Let me see where King go. I just had him in here. I just lost him again. We're having some technical difficulties, and I wasn't sure if it's the internet connection over here, or if it's King or what's going on. Because if not, we can always different time. I'll do that if necessary. Second, hear me now. Yo, King. Yeah, but you're not pulled up over on in the studio. You can see me. So close the browser. The link again. That's all you got to green screen. I mean the green room. So as I was saying, King is extremely because his points of view represents a lot of people, but he's straight to the point. It's, uh, because of that, people invite oftentimes, and so more recently, what Tuesday nights at the Lapeef Network. After that, oh, there he is. So and to make sure you subscribe to Lapeef Network. And he had Jr. started with his King Talk on Tuesday nights, and one day about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, almost. There was a clubhouse room where people were kind of dissing Kevin Samuels. And to get to those rooms, I like to jump in those rooms because I'm a supporter of Kevin Samuels, who's also a brothers. As King is my frat brother, we're all members of Kappa Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Jr. was in that room, and I think Jr. heard me speaking in behalf of Kevin. Jr. heard King speaking in that room, and apparently Jr. liked what we heard, and so he invited King and I to be panelists over King Talk, and everything was really great. During that very first episode of King Talk, things that Anton Daniels didn't like to hear. Now the thing is, Anton, and so that's the reason why I'm having this kind of King and the J and Lapeef Network and Anton because he is my boy. We've been boys for months, right? Met him online. Um, the lead network is really my guy. You know, he's an inspiration to me because he's kind of like pushing me to do my YouTube channels. So I'm seeing like my guy. It's also like your boys like, well, why is my boys going back and forth? But you can't always make all your boys see eye to eye. And so Anton heard some things that King was saying. He didn't like what he said. So at the end of the King talk, Jr. pulled Anton up on stage or up on the live, and they had a little bit of back and forth. This was episode number 1. After that, the next week, Anton back and they had some more words. But the thing is, people loved what King was talking about. If you go in the chat and read the chat from the King Talk episodes, about 50% of the people was loving the things that King was saying to Anton. 50% of the people was loving what Anton was saying to King. And it was a kind of, even though it was controversial, it was a great dynamic between the two brothers. Well, moving fast forward from there, JR liked what King was putting down so much that JR invited King to the main show. Now, the main show is Thursday nights over at the Lapeef Network. I want you guys to check those shows out as well. And that, now remember, King Talk is about men. It's a show that JR created for men to talk about men issues. That's what it's for, men's stuff. So we can have a space that we can discuss male issues, right? But the Thursday show is a mix, oftentimes talking about men and issues alike. King has been over there, and this show is where Anton Daniels and King both shared the stage for 5 hours, I believe. Even there was a little bit of controversy. And so, King, I want you to explain everybody a little bit who you are, how you came to the I gave everybody the backstory on how we found our way over to the Lapeef Network, but then let's fast forward to what happened last Thursday, and then we can dive right into that.
Okay. So I'm King. I am a Brooklynite that had the privilege of going to some of the best schools in America, and also the privilege to travel in the world, 50 plus countries. I was able to write a book called Love and Life Through the Eyes of Travel. It's on all platforms. And I'm a very opinionated guy. If you know me, you know that I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to keep the room spicy, and I'm going to try to make everybody happy, laugh, and try to educate you in a very rudimentary way. I try not to have high-level conversations because that's not very entertaining when you're trying to get things buzzing. If you're in a room with a whole bunch of intellectuals or people that have some type of knowledge, you got to keep yourself spicy. So I get into character of how I was when I was in Brooklyn and Brownsville, and I speak very simple and very straight to the point. But I believe the truth is simple. I met the guy Anton at the first time on King Talk, and on King Talk he came in and dropping subliminals and throwing shots at me. So what I did, I returned those shots. I was later invited to the other shows on the Lapeef Network, and when I was in those other shows, me and him, we had a reputation of going back and forth. He claimed on many shows before that he respected me. He agreed with 90% of things I say, and he was open. He didn't care if you question him on everything because he's a person that's completely transparent, and he says he's 100% of what he preaches. So one of the things, shout out to Mr. Hall, Livonia Ave, what up? I'm from Mother Gaston, but I'm so to the people that's viewing. But he said certain things that to me didn't add up. And if you from where I'm from in Brooklyn or where I'm from in general, when things don't add up, you call it out. And that's the reason why I actually like Shan, because Shan's the type of person, he's a little bit more tactful than me and graceful, but he's gonna call you out. He's gonna call you out. So I'm one of those guys, but I'm a little bit brash. I jump on you immediately, and it's for entertainment, but it's basically to hold the level of integrity on the shows at a high level. One of the things that I want to let everybody know is that when I get on any YouTube platform, everyone that's speaking deserves the right to be heard in their opinion. There's nobility within dialogue. When you censor someone, that means you take away their chance to create a narrative that they agree with. I don't like anybody controlling my narrative. No one does. And I think that's when we fell off. I said something to him about his family that he constantly brings up and says you can question him about his family, and he took it left. And if you know my personality, I don't care if you take it left because I'll go left with you. But The intentions of that wasn't to go left. It was actually something that's based off a concept, an academic concept, but we'll get into that later. He just took it left. And then it spiraled into a whole social media campaign to bury my character. He involved this guy named the lead attorney, and I feel insulted by the lead attorney because the lead attorney, I have nothing good to say about him at first, but because he's the guy that I used to protect going to school, so he wouldn't get beat up. And this is the karma I get. Like that guy you help make sure he goes to school safely, and then he grows up, and look how he's talking to me. It's disrespectful. I don't know him. I don't want to know him. But all I ask for him is to let me speak my narrative. And the things he did for the attention of a woman is not. It's not a man that I would want to be around. I don't care how long. I don't care how long you've been practicing law. I don't care where you got your Juris Doctorate from, because there's always someone better. But you have to. There's something called cultural capital, and there's something called class. And watching you that day, you lack both. And we're going to talk about how you lack both those days. Thank you.
All right. Well, let's go in order. Let's go in order. So, for those that don't know, and a lot of people know Anton Daniels because he has his very extremely popular and successful show, and then you have Lead Attorney with his extremely popular show, and so let's go in succession. So what happened was there's the King Talk. That's where Jr. invited us to the show on Tuesday nights. Anton pulled up to the King Talk and had an exchange of words with King on the very first episode. A week goes by. Uh, King and Anton has words again because Anton pulls up a second time, right? And to be honest with you, King, you asked for him to come up, and so he pulled up, and you guys went back and forth on that one. Now the thing
Right.
about it is because King is so
I
spicy
didn't.
with his content.
Right.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I
Because
didn't
King is so
also.
spicy with his content, Jr. decided to bring King onto the Thursday show, and then that's when they had controversy as well. You can see all this stuff over at the Lapeef Network. Now, the next week, King went back, and this happens to be the next week happens to be last Thursday,
Right.
live on the Lapeef Network for their Thursday show, and that's where they went four damn near 5 hours of a successful show, lots of back and forth, lots of different differences of opinion, and then that's when something happened. So King, now let's talk a little bit because I took a few notes. Let's talk a little bit about how it led into the issue. We'll get to the lead attorney because that happened this past Saturday.
Yeah.
But let's talk
Let's
about
get to him later because he's a cakewalk. Let's talk
so
about. Yeah.
let's talk about Anton. So what happened with Anton is that you guys went on the show. What were you trying to convey? What were you actually trying to say? Because a lot of people took that. You gotta keep it 100. A lot of people took that as disrespect. But I get where you were saying, and even on the show, you mentioned that you wasn't trying to disrespect.
Right.
But what message were you trying? Or what? Give a little backstory on how that led into that, and what you actually said, and
Right.
what you actually meant to say, or what you want people
Right.
to understand.
Well, he has a recurring thing about me where he says I'm not allowed because I get him mad sometimes. It was that day I went up with Kay, and Kay just came back into the show, and me and Kay will just give him a hard time that day. So out of frustration, I don't know, he said, "How can you give advice on relationships and anything in regards to marriage and when you're not married, never been married?" He's been married for 17 years. He met his wife when he was 14 or 16, married her at 22, and been together for 17 years. And I tell him all the time, that's the only institution I respect is marriage. But I made something very clear to him. I said, we don't know as a viewers, we don't know if you're happy. All we know is that you're married. And I also said to him, you made it, you constantly say, I'm 41, I travel the world, I have my stuff together, I'm living off my father's hard work and wealth, which is generational wealth, which he preaches, which is weird to me. That's completely weird. He makes fun of the fact that I'm carrying my father's legacy. He essentially says, hey, you can't talk about this because you're not married. And I said to him, you got married at a young age to a lady. I want to ask you and your wife a question. What were your options? There's a concept called paradox of choice. It's an academic concept called paradox of choice, which says the more choices you have, the more stress you feel, and you're more likely not to make the right choice. Right? So when I
Mm-hmm.
ask this man this question, because I know as adults, as you get older, we have this perceived amount of options, which makes it hard for us to basically accept anybody into our lives. You chose someone and she chose you at a very young age, but who's to say she would have chose you when she was older? Who's to say as you get money, that's the woman you want to be with? We don't know that. But what I do give you credit for is that you made a decision, you stuck to it. But not everybody wants to live life like that. Not everybody wants to be mechanical like that. People want to be in love. People want to have a chance to date, to get to know people. And I like I made an example. I travel the world. So when I pick my lady, it's because I saw all the options and she was the best. I'm not gonna pick the first thing I see or the first thing that makes my heart pitter patter. So it wasn't no diss to him. Maybe he thought, oh, are you calling my wife ugly? If you know me, I will call your wife ugly, but that's not my place to call your wife ugly. I don't care about your wife. I don't want to think about your family. Am I calling you? Um, am I dissing him? I was more dissing Anton than his wife because I was saying she probably didn't know better. I was dissing him more than his wife. So I don't have no place dissing his wife, but he constantly says things about me being incarcerated. He constantly says things about other people's family members. He constantly talks about the black woman on the stage. And I don't know about this whole manifest stuff, and I get it. But one thing, you could be a man's man, you don't have to disrespect women. That's one thing I don't tolerate. I don't disrespect women. I tell them the truth, but I will never disrespect a black woman on stage, right? We don't do that. And I always stress the fact that you can correct a woman and be gentle and be tactful. But at the end of the day, I see what's going on. Anton on the show can't live unless I'm dead. He can't his flames can't shine bright unless he throws water on my fire. That's how it works. And I get it. But for you to kick me off your show and then block me, and I don't want to come back. I just don't want you telling people that I left or I disrespected your wife because it never was about your wife. It's about I don't know if she would have picked you if she had other options. And I made it
All right.
a yeah.
Well, let's talk about that because I have an opinion about that, and and as I told you, and I want everybody to understand, I'm playing, I'm being Switzerland here because I rock with Anton, and I fuck with you, you know what I'm saying? But we got to call a spade a spade. So I got a few things.
Right.
So one thing that's important is, and I told you this before,
Mm-hmm.
you got to stay out of those comments. I don't
Right.
know what it is about you when you go live that you always want to read those comments because those comments set you off. And it
Right.
happened to us one time on our Ask a Black Man Anything live show that we do on Thursday nights on YouTube. And I think I mentioned, I was like, yo, King, stay out of the comments because what it does is it degrades the the uh the content because a lot of times it'll drive you'll be so busy fighting people in the chat
Mm-hmm.
that you'll lose focus of the people that you're on stage with.
Right.
And that's what it seemed like what happened is because you'll be reading those comments and you'll jump in, you'll say stuff like, and for those people in the comments, I want to say such and such. So
Right.
I just want to put that out there one more time. You want to try to get into the habit of staying out of the comments when you're doing your lives, especially if you're as a guest panelist on somebody's show,
Right.
because it kind of like it takes away from the organic uh, discussion that you're having with the people on the actual show.
Right.
Another thing I wrote down is your energy for K is heavy. I get it. Your energy for K was real heavy, and and it came off like as if it didn't matter what K said, you were going to agree with it simply because it seems like her and Anton sometimes go at it, and so it almost came off like you were just the enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's
Right.
what it felt like. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? That's what it felt like. You know what I'm saying? So I'm watching your energy with Kay, and when Kay would say something, you jump on and be like, "Yo, yeah, Kay," and you clapping and you doing all this extra stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, I know my nigga, I know King, I know King. Like, who am I watching right now?
Mm-hmm.
And one time it got to the point where you low key were taking shots at people. You even took a shot at Rilla. Don't know if you knew that.
No,
You know what
no,
I'm
he,
saying?
he felt that. He felt that, but
No, but we felt that.
oh,
We
y'all felt
felt
that?
that. I
So but
felt that.
did he feel it?
Well, of course he felt it. That's why he said something
And I
because it
did
was
my
when you had
job.
it was when well see it was when you were it's when you were kissing Kay's ass, right?
Right,
You had said sometimes you don't have to say anything. That's what you told her. And
right,
this is her response that she was having with Rilla. And then you jumped in and was congratulating her about what you said. And you told her sometimes,
right.
you don't have to say anything, which was a kind of like a dig at Rilla because they was having a constructive, dialogue between each other. And you jumped in on him. And so
Mhm.
when I watched you do that, I was like, and see, they don't know. See, I got you 7 months. These
Right.
people have only known you for 20 days. So
Right.
I know how you rock. I know how you'll come into Clubhouse on the stage. You'll say something and get everybody. Now all of a sudden it's 50 people trying to get on stage to say something that you're saying because you're keeping it spicy.
Right.
But everybody don't know that about you.
Right.
And sometimes you got to kind of like you got to read the room. And so
Hmm.
when you did that, it's like, oh, it was kind of cringeworthy,
Right.
right? Another thing is you got to think. This is just my advice, and you can take it. This is Nupe to Nupe, right?
Right.
I'm Spring '97, so you give me a little difference.
All the
It's
way different. You get difference for real.
when you talk on these stages, I don't know if you realize it, but you interrupt a lot.
Okay.
This is your boy. This is your boy telling you. You
Hmm.
interrupt a lot. Now I know that you get upset. We all do. We all can calculate when somebody interrupts us, but somehow we turn that meter off when we're interrupting other people.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
oftentimes you'll jump in on people
Hmm.
and you don't have to necessarily do that. Then you do the antics like you was throwing up the timeouts, you was going like this, and then somebody was like, what are you, I think Anton was like, what you doing? You like, I ain't say nothing, but you're going like this, so it's
Right.
really
Right.
distracting. And I know you don't even get down like you've never gotten, we've done 10 shows live
Hmm.
together, you don't get down like that. You went in on me. Remember
Right.
we was going in about millionaires and counting Dr. Dre's money, and me and you was going back and forth for about an hour.
Hmm.
You never
Hmm.
did that. So I almost like was like, what am I watching? But let's get to the point, right? You were talking about Anton's wife and saying what are her options.
Hmm. Hmm.
This is the part that confuses me, and I want you to explain it to people.
Hmm. Hmm.
Anton met his wife when she was like 13, 14 years old, when they were young. They're probably the same age. So let's say they met each other around 14 years old.
Right.
But they didn't get married till they was 22.
Right.
And from what and it's public knowledge, Anton married her within 6 months. Like he married her quick. It was like, yo, you're gonna be my wife. Let's make this happen. He proposed before you can blink an
Right.
eye. Next thing you know, they was jumping the broom.
Right.
So that's an eight. If we just use 14, let's go high and go low. 14 and 22, that's an 8-year span.
Yeah, but
But
he
when
didn't
you
say that. He said he met his wife at that age, but he said 6 months. He told his wife, I'm going to marry you. In 6 months, he gave her the ring. They got
right,
married. Six
right, but
months.
he was 22.
The
But he
other
was
time he wasn't.
22 when he did.
The other time he wasn't. The other 8 years you're talking about, he wasn't doing that because he made references to him dating before that, or he made references to other things. And if you listen to some of the shows, I actually told him one time we could go in battle to who gets the most girls, but chill, you're married, and I will never do that to your wife. Two, I also said the way you talk to your wife out in public is not cool. You should be ashamed of yourself. So why all of a sudden now I'm disrespecting his wife? Why?
Well, because that's his wife. Because
Right.
he could say what he want about his wife.
Right. He can say what he
That's
wants.
so that no, but hear me out. Hear me out. That's his wife. That's not y'all's wife.
Right.
So while what you consider disrespect, they may consider promotion.
Right.
They may have an understanding within the confines of their home that the
Right.
way Anton talks out in the streets is totally fine with them because maybe that brings them bread. Maybe
Right.
that may but here's the thing. So who is that? Who are you to judge that?
And that's a good question. Shan, that's a good question because when you tell me and you tell everybody that comes to your show, ask me any question about my family and I can answer it.
Mhm.
That's it. What is there to talk about? You said ask
Right,
you.
but
No, you said no. It's not like they give you a list or guide of what not to say, who to say. He said ask him any question, right? So when I start asking questions, because he knows nobody wants to go down this rabbit hole with me. Because when I start asking questions, you don't know what I'm asking my questions for, but it's going to lead to me getting to the core of you. Like, for example, I play chess. One show I said, you got a fake Versace robe, Anton. I don't like your fake Versace robe. The next show, I had this grown man run around to get his receipt for a role. And now, if you're confident, like he pretends he is, then you don't care what I think. You know it's real. I know my Rolly's real. I don't have to go and get you the card I don't have to do that. I know it's real. I know my Tom Brown glasses is real. I know my Cartier bracelet is real. I don't have to prove that to you. I know my degrees are real, right? I know what I did for my community is real. I don't have to justify or get your validation for anything. So this is when I started cracking him up a little bit when I realized he's not who he is. Because no man that brags about what he has is gonna get off from the seat as he's 5'4", he says 5'7", jump up from his seat, go and get a receipt and show it to me.
Got you. No, but hear me. But you're deflecting because that's not what
No,
we're
it wasn't deflecting. I'm just saying that what I brought that up to let you know is that everything I say leads to a deeper part of who he really is. And I asked the question. The question is, what were your options for her and him? Not just her. I could ask that question. And he has the right to say, I don't want to answer it. But when you cut me off, you're not having journalistic integrity, and you're not living up to what you said when you said anybody that comes on the stage, I'm going to allow them to speak.
No. I get it, but I don't think it's a question that is a discussion. The discussion is the fact that you are saying that he's disrespecting his wife. So why can't us?
No.
Why
I
can't
didn't say
we?
that. I never said
But
that. I said
that's what you're alluding to,
I didn't
King.
say that.
Listen.
I said
So
he
hear
had.
me out,
I said
King.
he had.
Hear me out, King. You're interrupting me now.
Okay, go ahead.
That's what you're alluding to. It sounds like, and I hear it, and I let you go on with about the Rolex watch and the fake in the fake
Right.
Versace robe and all of that. But that had nothing to do with what I was talking about. I'm simply saying when you turn around and say Anton, it brings out he's basically TM. There's no such thing as TMI, right? There's no such thing as too much
Mhm,
information.
mhm, mhm,
Anton lays his life. He's an open book,
mhm,
and he exposes his life so people can learn from that, follow him, support him, and whatnot. And there's no whole bar. There's nothing taboo, right?
mhm, mhm.
Then he turns around and he's talking bad about. That's what just he's dissing his wife.
Right.
And I'm simply saying what you consider a diss is maybe an understanding between him and his wife, and who are you to judge? That's when you went off on talking about Rolex watches. I'm bringing you back over here to simply say
Mhm, mhm,
he has nothing to do with him not letting you ask questions. I'm
mhm.
simply saying what you consider him disrespectful to his wife, may be totally respectful between those two. And do you understand that?
No, I understand that. But
Okay.
once again, we have a relationship when we say things that most people would think considered sensitive and disrespectful.
Hmm.
Once we started that relationship, the gloves is on. But when I talk about him, it's not to hurt his feelings, but to let the world know this is not the person you think he is.
Mm.
At the end of the day, he's not who you think he is. And by the time you realize that you already donated 5,000 of your dollars to him, it's gonna come
Okay.
out the
Well,
closet.
we'll
It's
get to
gonna,
that. So let's wrap up the wife part. So let me ask you this. Now, when you say things like, "Hey, Anton, listen," I hope that's not my Mercedes. When you say things like, "Yo, what options did your wife have?
right.
What
And you.
options did what options did you have because you were so young?" Here's the question I have with you about that.
Hmm.
First of all, it was 8 years.
Right.
Now I get maybe when you asked that question, you didn't realize that they were separated for 8 years. But 8 years is a long time for people to judge, to get an idea of who they're dating. If his
Hmm.
wife was 14 years old when they met, but didn't get married till 22, she married a year after she was able to drink. She had all of her ages of 16,
Hmm.
17, 18,
Hmm.
19, 20,
Hmm.
21, partial of 22 to date
Hmm.
other men. When you say things like 8 years of marriage, you don't know who you marrying. If you, I think you mentioned something like if all you ever driven was a Honda, then what you know about a Mercedes. Well, I guess I got two questions for you. One, what makes you think that she didn't date others or didn't experience others? And two,
Hmm.
are you suggesting that women should go out and experience and have a lot of sex and build their body count up and fuck a whole bunch of motherfuckers before they
Hmm.
realize who they should marry?
No. The first question is I don't know her and I don't know him.
Exactly.
So I want to answer you. I'm answering your question. I don't know either one of them. This is why I asked the question. You ask questions because you don't know. What were your options? I don't know. I need to know what were your options. It's not about exposing them. It's about letting you know if you're going to criticize me for being 41 and not married, I'm going to let you know what's the opposite of getting married young. Here's some of the consequences of getting married young, right? So that's what I was saying. What are your options? Because I don't know either one of them. What were your options? And as for the other things too, I always say to men, go to school, get a trade, travel the world, get financially stable, then get married.
That's what you say to men, right?
I say, and let me finish. I'm answering your second question. You
Mhm.
assume you just said you added some texture to it. You added a variable. Mo, are you telling women to go and have sex? No, I didn't say that. I said just like men, build yourself up. I didn't say have sex. See the world. Do everything you can. At 22, nobody's brain is fully developed. See the world. Get educated. Do things. You could date. I never said sex. You put that in there, Shan. I never
No, I
said.
didn't. I didn't. I don't think I said sex.
Yes, you
I'm
said.
talking about. Oh, no,
You
oh yeah, you're right. You're
did.
right.
You
Body
did.
count. I
You
did. I
did.
did mention body
You
count.
did.
Right.
You did say that. That's why I'm
Okay.
saying I don't. That kind of made me seem like you're trying to make it seem worse than it is, and it's not. I never said sex. Just like men, build yourself up, see the world, and make an informed decision about who you want in your life. Because as we know, most marriages when they start out young are not the best marriages. They're not. They don't like. Can you? When people get married young, it's usually because it's financially why they get married young. For one of the reasons, there's many reasons, but one of the reasons, I'm married young because
Well, one of the main reasons people get young is because they're in love, and it's about love, and they think love is going to last for 50 years, and it usually don't. Love, what's love got to do with it? But and so
I
as a
mean, you know my
result,
theory.
they
You know
well, yeah.
my theory.
But here's my. So, are you suggesting that people young shouldn't get married?
No, I'm suggesting for you to build yourself up, whatever that age that is. Build yourself up, right? And make sure that you make an informed decision.
But
You cannot make an informed decision about yourself until you have experienced the world. In
so
my opinion,
are you suggesting that people should not get married young? Because if you aren't suggesting that, then you're being a little
no,
presumptuous.
no, I'm not. I'm not suggesting because I don't want to put an age on it because maybe you have the
So
resources.
then what's wrong with 22?
Maybe you have the resources, and that's why I asked them. That's why the question was posed. I'm not like anybody else. I don't tell people what to do, and I don't tell you what I do. I said, "What were your options?" And that's when he can come if he wanted to and say, "Well, I made a decision because I felt that I was confident." He always says, "I picked my lady and I showed her what I was doing, and I made it happen." Me, that's not what I do. I'm not knocking him. So why was he knocking me in my choice? I'm 41. I just came into my manhood, right? I did everything I wanted to do. I got out my system because I'm a person that doesn't want to get married and get divorced, and I don't want to have kids out of wedlock. I don't want to do it. That's me.
Ah.
But I'm not I'm not telling him that he's wrong. I'm telling him I didn't do that. So why are you calling me wrong?
So are you so let me be clear. This was more of a response to a jab to you in being 41 and not married.
No, it was basically letting him know what was the basis of all arguments. We are not monoliths. You do not have the one blueprint that fits all black men. Just
Oh,
because
see, it
you
didn't.
just
No, I
because
hear
you
you. I hear
just
you.
because just
Everybody's not the
because
same.
just,
Everybody's not the same. And Anton, what you're preaching doesn't necessarily apply to a lot of people out there. So don't make it seem like that's the one and only blueprint. Is that what you're
that's
trying to get Anton to
I've been
realize?
saying that, and what happens is, and if you're successful at it, doesn't mean someone's not successful at what. Because what if I get married tomorrow and I stay with that same woman until I'm 90? I'm happy with
Mhm.
that, right? I'm not
Yeah,
here to
that's the
live.
goal.
Yeah, I'm not here to live. I'm not here to live his life. I'm here to live my life. And I'm not here to have someone condemn me because of how I feel. But I don't, once again, let me make this clear. Men and women, build yourself up. Build yourself up before you meet someone else. That's
Got you.
mentally, financially, emotionally, because it's not because you're not gonna tell me You're not going to tell me, Shan, that we have it together at 22. I used to think I had it together at 22.
Well, I see. I'm not gonna. So
No,
I don't. I
I'm
personally don't believe. Okay. So here, I have different. I have a difference of opinion with you, and King. I believe men should not get married at 22. I believe women should. I believe women should. I believe women had because figuring shit out, because the problem with that is oftentimes and that preaching anything other than that is to say go out, get your degree. See, go and experience the world, travel, and all of that is also another way of saying go to college, get your degree, do all of this, and next thing you know, women is building up the body count. So let's not remove sex. We can't.
but no,
They're,
but
they're dating, they're dating, they're meeting people, they're doing all kind of stuff, and a lot of mistakes come along. Next thing you know, they wake up and they're 35 years old, and now they say, "Oh, great! I did what King suggested. I went out and explored the world. I traveled. I've been to Dubai. I've been to Spain. I've had a few boyfriends. Oops, I made a baby along the way, but that was a mistake. The condom broke that night, and so everything is fine. Now I'd like to go get a man." And then women is waking up worldwide saying, "God damn, what happened to all the men that I was supposed to get at age 35?" And they're not getting one. That's why I do suggest that women younger get married. And so when you say, now here's the thing, and this is how a lot of people took it when you were going back and forth with Anton about that, it sounded like, and I get what, now that you've explained it, I understand. But it sounded like at the time last Thursday night that you were basically saying, well, how she picked the right one? She didn't even get a chance to experience nothing yet. How she made the right choice? And my mind is thinking, well, damn, if she didn't make the right choice at age 22, what age is the best age to make it? Now, what you're saying right now is men and women together should wait, but until they experience things. But here's the presumptuous part on you. You're presuming that she didn't. 22, there's a lot of, you could be done with college at 22, 4-year degree already done, traveled. You may have done some abroad studies, so you lived across 2 years. We don't know what she did, but the way you worded it, King, is almost like,
how did I word it? How did I word it?
If all you have ever done was drive a Honda, then how you know a Mercedes ain't out there? And I'm saying
how did I word it? Jan?
I'm telling you.
No, but you forgetting the main point. It was a question. Everything I said was a question. Everything.
No. Yo, you presented it in a question form.
Let me finish.
You did.
Let me finish. Everything I said was a question, Shan. It wasn't a statement. It wasn't a statement. So that refutes everything you said, Shan, because let me tell you why. Because once I ask you a question, it's letting you know I don't know. So would you elaborate and would you tell me? But he never came back and he never took the opportunity to tell me. What he did was kick me off. What he did was hold on. What he did was mention my father. What he did was do everything but answer the question, because all I did was ask the question. Shan, we have to make things. I like to make things very rudimentary. You have two men that have opposing opinions.
I know you like to make things rudimentary. The world don't know that. They don't know you like I know you, King.
Right. We have two men that want to make they have different opinions. Our opinions don't get along, it clashes. So guess what? Let me state my opinion, you state your opinion. We could go our separate ways. But when you state your opinion and I state my opinion and then you state yours and then you cut me off, that means I hit someplace. I triggered something. Because when you kick me off, in the history of Lapeef, he never kicked no one off. Why? Because I'm the only one that stands up to him, period. So I don't want to make a thing that I'm going to go against Anton, because he woke up the next morning and talked about me, but never gave me a chance to fight back. And I'm lying. Actually, JR told me to call that morning. I didn't want to because I was at a franchise expo.
Well, let's get to that. Let's get to the kickoff part. So I just wanted to get through. I just wanted to give you my thoughts, as your boy and as a friend of yours, because you're a friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? I rock with you, bro. But I rock with Anton too. And I'm just saying it. I'm calling it like I see it. And I'm just saying the way it sounded. And I get it. Now I get it. You said I asked a question. You did ask a question. You presented it. You ended your statement with a question. But let me tell you something. It sounded very
condescending.
No, well, goddamn condescending, but that was okay because that's how both of you guys are. It's
Let me ask you a
condescending
question.
ain't the word.
Shan, can I ask you a question? Why
Yeah, go ahead.
you point out everything I did wrong and everything I do besides, talking over people, and I do that because I didn't have the equipment. I didn't get this good
Hmm.
camera equipment till you told me about it. So most of the times when I'm talking to people because I have feedback, as you saw, look how long it took us to get on. I
Hmm.
live in a big duplex. The echo. So sometimes I don't hear certain things. So it's not me
Right.
jumping over. So that's a technical difficulty. Second of all, you never point out anything he could have done wrong. All right.
No,
Point.
no, I'm not, and I'm not until he gets here. If he
Okay.
pulls up, I will. And
Okay.
so the thing
Okay. I
is,
respect that. I
to
respect
me,
that. I
okay,
respect
yeah, yeah. See, my thing is, I got things that Anton did and that the lead did and that everybody did that I have an issue with, but I ain't gonna talk about them because they're not here. So I got an opportunity to give all my energy on making King better if I can. I'm an old dude. I'm 49. You know what I'm saying? If people call me an OG, so I'm just giving my game to my young boy King because King is my focus, and I want you to do better. And
right.
so I'm gonna talk strictly about what you did. And
Right.
if Anton pulls up, or if I ever have a conversation with Anton or whatever, then I'll talk to him about what he did. But tonight is about you because
So
you're
that,
here.
and this is why I said what I said to the lead in a letter, which you're going to jump into real soon.
Okay.
I've been around distinguished men of Kappa Alpha Psi, my mentors at Boston College, Columbia University, as well as people I met through my travels. And they do the same thing you just said you do. You don't talk about a man unless he's there. He didn't do that. Lee didn't do that. So I want you to use that as a segue to get into my issues with Lee, because you said that, see my chest moves. Because you said that, everything about Lee is fraudulent to me. It's actually the biggest type of feminine energy you could have. You're talking about a man that you don't know and you won't let him speak for himself because you picked a side. You see what you said? You're not picking a side. You know all of us. Your side is the truth. You can
Yeah.
talk to me like this, and you can question me like this because I know, or I hope, that you're going to do the same thing to them. But he's just picking a side because I don't know. Maybe they all scared of Anton because he cuts them a check, and that's the thing that's when I got cut off. If you watch the film, I got cut off because the last thing I said to Anton could say what I want to say. Because I asked that question throughout the whole interview. It's to the end when I told Anton, I do what I want because you don't pay me. You don't pay me. I don't need this to survive. Actually, this is taking away money from me because I could be using this time to do something else. But I love the banter, right? I'm okay. I'm not the wealthiest man in the world, but trust me, I could go to any restaurant I want to. I could go any place I want to. I could buy any clothing I want to. I could do whatever I want. Maybe not in the amount that I want to do it in, but I could do it. And I'm comfortable with that. I don't have to be saying I bought this and bought that because you're going to see it. You're going to know. Certain people, when you get around certain people, you know who's who. They don't got to talk. And
Got you.
I don't feel that energy. I don't feel that energy from him. It's not disrespect to him, but I don't feel it.
Well, we'll get to him. Let's wrap up. Let's wrap up the interaction with Anton. Let me ask you this question here. Let me ask you this question. When you were talking, because you were talking to you were going back and forth with about the wife thing, and you were talking. A caller had came up. I forget the brother's name, and you guys was discussing it. And Anton was quiet the whole time, even
Right.
though Anton was the subject, and even though you were asking questions, and you were ending your sentences with a question straight up. You were absolutely right about that. I think they were rhetorical. I don't think that you actually were looking for an answer. That's how it felt. It didn't look like you. I heard the question, but it didn't look like you were asking for knowledge. It looked like you were making a statement of fact. That's what it sounded like. I'm just giving you the 100 on that. But when Anton finally came off the mic, is there any particular reason why you got a little hostile?
We mean
And this is
hostile.
what happened because Anton came on and he said this. I want to make something perfectly clear. And as soon as he said I want to make something perfectly clear, you start saying, "Well, make it clear." Then you sat back,
Right,
and I already told you that you look like Buns
right,
in Belly.
right.
So you came off like DMX, like nigga, will make it clear then, nigga. Like,
Yeah,
and so I was just like, oh, like my nigga King, why you?
yeah,
What is
yeah.
there any?
Because
What did he say
no,
that made you get so hostile about
it
that?
wasn't what he said. Is because he's not that energy, and I don't know because I know men who are 5'4", 5'7", who who will fight you and beat you up. And I don't. It's not about his size, right? So when I say he's not that, it's about before that he told me to shut up when I was talking. Nobody, you can go, you can look at it. That's why I love that fact that he can go record, right? He says, "Let me let you know one thing, and maybe say one thing clear. When you talk to another man like that, to me, that is extremely feminine. Because just say it. You don't have to make a preface to your threat. He's the one that threatened me. He's the one
Yeah,
that
but
said,
he didn't threaten you. What he wanted, what he didn't threaten you.
hold on,
You're
hold
right.
on.
I apologize for interrupting you, brother. Go ahead.
He said to me, make sure you know what you're doing, and whatever happens afterwards, you can handle it. That's what he said.
No, I got you.
If that's not a threat, Shan, I don't know what city you from.
So no, I'm from LA. So no. Let me. I'm from LA. When
Right.
he said make it clear, what he wanted clarity on was that he would pick his wife over and over again.
That oh no, now you helping him out. Good job. That's
No,
how
no, 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 King. I took notes, brother.
yeah, but that's your
So,
interpretation.
no, it's not an interpretation. He said, "Let me make it clear,"
Right.
and you said, "Make it clear." You sat up. You said, "Make it clear." Then make it clear. Now it did. Now he did come off like he was getting ready to say, "Nigga, you talk about me, I'm gonna pull up," but he didn't do that. He said, "Let me make it clear. I would pick my wife 1,000 times over and over and over again." And as soon as he did that, you kind of calmed down.
No,
That's what happened.
no. There was two incidents. He said, "Let me make it clear."
King. I know
No.
the incidents. Play the tape. Just
Yeah,
hear me out.
yeah.
Play the tape and then text me later and say I apologize. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm telling you, play the tape and text me later because he said two incidents. He said, "I'm going to tell you something and I'm going to make it clear to you. No one talks about my wife like that." Then he said what you just said at another time.
Oh, well, I don't know about the first time.
All right, this is what I'm saying.
I'm talking about the time where he said, "Let me make it clear," and you said, "I'm talking about where you came in and said, make it clear."
No, see. This is the issue I have with Anton. You just showed it.
Okay.
We both could be right. We
Explain.
both could be right. I don't care if he's your cousin. We both could be right, Shan. Like he said that as a threat to me, and he said that as to tell you I'm gonna choose my wife. That was at the end. When you go back in the tape,
that was at the end.
Yeah, it was 2 times he said that. So when the first time he said that, I checked him. So when he starts the sentence over again,
in your mind, it's getting ready to do the same shit he did before.
Right. So we both right. That's what I'm saying. This is what we got. This is what people have to understand. I don't have to be wrong for you to be right. And that's what a lot of us are not getting as black men. I could be right and you could be right. We just not right for each other.
Well, see, the thing about it, King, this is where the I think I opened this up with saying that you interrupt a lot. See, oftentimes, if you allow somebody to speak, and maybe that's not just I can't tell you to speak the way you speak, how King speaks, right? We all want people to do better. But oftentimes, if we do more ear opening and mouth closing, then we can gain perspective and context when people are getting ready to talk. So say, for instance, 30 minutes earlier or an hour earlier, he said, "Let me make it clear. You do blah, blah, blah." And it was almost threatening at that time. And you checked him at that time.
Mm-hmm.
An hour later, when he leads with the same intro that he did an hour ago, "Let me make it clear." Get it. I hear what you're saying. Naturally, as a human being, you're going to automatically come off and say, "Oh, nigga, you about to do that same shit you just did an hour ago, then nigga, make it clear." I get what you're saying. But sometimes, especially in spaces like YouTube and stages and live and internet and conversations, you got to just let people talk. And so you such a firecracker. And I get it. You a spicy nigga, man. I would hate to have been fucking in a pledge session with you as a scroller. You spicy. And so what happened was then he wanted to talk about something else. And then that's where he said, "Okay, you know what? Then if you're going to go there, you didn't even let him finish, get a word in edgewise." And that's when he's like, "You're not going to disrespect me on my platform. And if that's what you're going to do, then you started screaming, 'Stand on that, stand on that, stand on that.'" And that's when you got cut out. And I'm just thinking to myself, well, because you were shutting up.
I get what you're saying. You know what? You this is why I know you got to watch the tape over. Because when I said stand on that, this is when he said to me,
yeah,
anything that happens after this, you gotta have to do.
He did. That's exactly.
And I said, "Is that a threat?" And I said,
Right.
I
No, no,
want
you can. You said, and you low. I'm having. I'm trying. You said I'm trying to have a discourse. There's two men trying to
yes.
have a discourse, and
And,
then
and I
all I
asked this
get back is
question,
you low key threatening me. I heard what you
and,
said.
and he said, and that's when he said, see, that's why I'm saying I don't know where you got the other part from, because after that part, that's when he said the thing about his wife. And then I said to him, you don't pay me.
I got you. I
So it's
want you. I just don't want you to be so hostile. Listen, you're a content creator, King, and you
right.
have a following. You have a pretty. You represent a lot of black men. You represent, and there's a lot of people that rock with you. See, the thing about it is, in addition to watching the video, I looked at the comments and I was looking at the things that people were saying. Some people was rocking with Anton. Some people was rocking with you. I almost want to say it was 50-50. I want to say that people was like, yo, there was people in there saying, are y'all listening to what King's saying? Go deeper, understand where he's coming from. I get it. But in order for your message to resonate, in
Mhm.
order for your message to go wide and far, sometimes you have to be able to wrangle and manage your own emotions so you don't cut motherfuckers off, and you'll still be able to get in what you want to say, or you might change how you was going to say it because you gave them an opportunity to either hang themselves or
Mhm.
say what they were going to say so you have more context. And that's what was important, because the reason of the cutoff wasn't necessarily about the wife thing and all that. It was simply because when he finally came off the mic, because you was talking a long time, when he finally came off the mic and started to speak, you didn't give him an opportunity to speak, and this is his house. I don't know who. I mean, it's actually JR's, but I mean, they work together. They're partners. So as far as I'm concerned, can't nobody come to ask a black man anything talking shit to you. They're not doing that. So because we partners over there. So you went over there and you just yelling, and it's almost like you was stepping on the furniture and kicking fucking lamps
Right.
over in his own
Right.
house. And it's like, bro,
And if you remember what I said on King Talk, I made it very clear. I don't care if I'm in your house or you in my house. If you disrespect me, I'm pissing on your carpet. I
and
said
he
that.
did.
I
And he
did. I
did.
said that. And I said that. And the reason why I said that, because location shouldn't designate the amount of respect you give a man. I don't care.
I hear you. I hear you. But he
I
didn't. But
don't
he
care.
didn't.
I don't like that. That to me is such a primitive
I
way of thinking.
I
Like no matter where I'm at, you should have respect, and I should have respect.
I understand, brother. I'm just saying that to me, it felt like he was. This is me to you. It felt like
Right.
his silence while you was
Right.
talking to that caller, and we could go
Right.
back and play the tapes later,
Right.
was the respect. And then when he said, "Okay, let me go ahead and say something about this
Right.
since you're talking about
Right.
me," you didn't extend him that same respect that he gave you when you was talking
Okay.
about him,
But
and that's where.
once again, that's we want to make it clear. That's what you assume.
Yeah, again, it's just my
Okay.
perspective.
All right.
It's my
So
perspective.
what I assume is that quietness, because we both were quiet, because we both were heated at each other, and we were just trying to not go there, and then it went there. But that's what it was. At the end of the day, one thing about me, if you say something about me, I'm going to check you. So that's to let you know, don't do that again. I asked the question, what were her options 20 times. So all of a
Okay.
sudden, the last time I'm talking about his wife.
No, 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 no. I don't think that was the case. I think I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. You didn't even let him talk about what he was going to talk about.
Okay,
You, you,
okay.
you shut him down. You just came in because you were so passionate. You were so
Right,
passionate and you were heated that even when he decided to hit his mute button and start talking,
right,
you didn't hit yours and just say,
right.
"Okay, go ahead and say what you got to
So,
say."
let's just say that's true, right?
All right.
Jr. and everybody has the mute button, and they've done it before. And even when you made the comment about the comments, don't look at the comments. Jr. has the right to shut down the comments. I can't even see it sometimes, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So there's other ways, right,
All right.
to get the time to speak. But when you take someone off, right, and then everything you saying is false, Shan, because the next day, which the thing you didn't see, he explained why he did what he did. This is why I'm saying whatever you're saying right now is a false assumption, because he
No,
explained.
no, I got no. Well, again, I didn't watch. I didn't watch this. I
And
didn't
I'm
watch the stream the next day. I didn't get a
the
chance to
next
see
day,
that.
he explained everything of why he did what he did. and it
Got you.
doesn't go. It's not aligned with what you're saying, Shan.
All right. Well, check this out. Check this out.
Yeah.
Would you like to talk to Anton?
No, I don't have to talk to Anton. If he wants to come on stage now, I would love to talk to him.
Okay.
But
Well,
if you're telling me to reach out to him, no, I don't need to reach
no,
out.
no, no. I didn't ask you that. I just asked you, would you, because do you see where you could have made any mistakes, or you believe that you
Oh
were
no,
100% right
absolutely.
now with?
I see why I made a mistake. The mistake I have is that I'm passionate, and if I feel disrespected, I'm going to lash out on you. But that's not a mistake. That's a defense mechanism based on the fact that you don't show respect, and I'm not
So
going to.
you don't see where you made any mistakes.
I just said I made a mistake.
You said I made a mistake, but I'm passionate, but I don't see
Okay,
that as a mistake.
let me take it back because you like this. I don't like to use the word "but" because it negates everything after.
Yeah.
I should have basically been a little bit more poised and cool because we're on internet. This is not real life. Nobody's
Got you.
touching nobody. I've been in far worse situations, but I don't like people controlling my narrative.
I understand.
You always say I cut him off. He cuts everybody off. He cuts me off.
But listen. I'm not your enemy, bro. I'm telling. I'm calling it like I saw it.
Right.
You interrupt a lot.
Right.
You do.
Okay.
You do that, and it changes the course, and it makes people not want to actually talk. And I'm just saying that is a
Right.
personality trait that I would prefer, that I would really like if you worked on. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
You could take it, or you could leave it right here in this
No, no, no.
conversation. And say,
I respect it. I respect it. But and I'm glad you said that. But you have said that in many shows before. This is why I know that you're sincere because you've been saying that to me.
got
Even
you.
King Talk, you say, yeah, it's King's Talk. I got the subliminals. I get everything, right? And it is King's Talk because at the end of the day, I'm talking the most. But at the end of the day, you said it when I did it, right?
Okay.
And you never cut me off. Even when I ask a black man, y'all don't take me off the thing. That's disrespectful. And it's cool. You could but you could make it seem like, and here's a tidbit, not to throw your boy JR under the bus. He told me I don't know none of them. At the end of the day, he told me that this man did it because his wife was mad. So I'm here to let me finish. His wife was telling him. He said he said even he handled it wrong. He admitted that homeboy handled it wrong. Anton handled that whole thing wrong. He said he shouldn't have done that. But guess what? I'm here to let everybody know it wasn't about his wife. It was more so about Anton. If he want to take it, if he wants to feel the way he wants to feel, I don't care. But I'm telling the truth. It wasn't about his wife. I don't know his wife. I don't know her. And I don't care to know her. If you ask, I don't disrespect women like that. She's harmless. She's helpless. I can't. What I'm gonna do? I don't get no points talking about her like that.
I got you.
Don't. So
I hear you.
This is what happened.
No. Hear me out. Because you could be also long-winded.
Okay.
So hear me out.
All right.
Anton pulled up. He's in the green room.
Go ahead.
I'm not even used to this platform, so I just saw this shit. So Anton is here. Now here's the thing.
Right.
Have discourse. That's all I'm asking.
Okay.
Have discourse.
Okay.
Don't interrupt. I'm gonna ask Anton not to interrupt you. I'm gonna ask you not to interrupt Anton.
But
can we do that?
Can I say one thing? Can I say one thing before you put him up?
Of course you can.
Shan, this is all I wanted. I just wanted a person that was a neutral mediator to make sure no one speaks over no one and no one crosses that line to get off their chest. That's all I asked for. And he denied me from that. So for me, he's a sucker to me. All right. And then also to make it very clear to you, you know, and I know I might be long-winded, but if I have deference for you, I'm going to keep quiet. I'm cool. So let's bring him on the stage. But mind you, I'm glad it's happened on this stage because I don't want nobody kicking me off. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't do that.
I don't want no sneaky stuff funny thing, I like JR. I respect him, but I don't want no sound effects when I'm talking. Let's get it out right now. Let's get it out.
All right, hold on. Let me figure out how to do this shit. Let's see. Boom. Anton Daniels is in the house.
What's up, family? I'm at the skate
What up,
break.
man?
I'm leaving out right now, bro.
Oh shit. We done got Anton on a goddamn Monday night while he's having fun.
Life is good. I can't complain at all, bro.
Anton,
What's going on? Can you hear me good?
loud and clear. Mic is perfect, bro. Camera is perfect. Like
Sounds
we can
good.
see you in high definition. We got 3 bald head black men with beards on the stage, all dark skin. So we can
What's
tell all
happening?
the light skin jokes we want. Listen, Anton, we're discussing what happened about last week, and
Yeah.
I don't know how much of it you heard. You probably better go back to the replay. But
No,
King
my,
is
my my some of my followers they sent it to me, and I
mhm.
heard it pretty much from the beginning, so
Okay,
I'm pretty
cool.
familiar with everything.
Okay, well, yeah, I would imagine. But the point is, um, King had wanted to really explain that it wasn't necessarily a dig; it was more of a question, and he was really talking about you and the differences that you two have with each other. And what upset him the most out of everything is not the fact that you guys go back and forth. Because to be honest with you, and if you don't mind me, King, I'm gonna go ahead and tell some stuff that you told me in private. Is that King actually enjoys talking to you because he believes that the conversation between you and him is one that a lot of people really like, and he wanted to keep that going. Now he told me that privately. He may be mad at me for putting that out
Wait,
there, but
I thought I want to keep it going.
uh, that the conversation that the conversation and the dynamic between you and him is almost like water and ice, or like I'm sorry, fire and ice,
Oh
and
no,
that
I did. I said the dynamics that we had created the show. I never said I want to keep it going. Right.
oh okay,
If you
all
love
right.
me, bro, just say you love me. You ain't it ain't nothing wrong with that.
So his issue was about him getting booted from the show and not having a voice, having being censored.
Hmm.
King, go ahead, King. King wants to know. I could ask
I
you, or
heard
King can
everything.
ask
I
you.
heard
Yeah, we heard
everything I was
everything.
saying.
Let him speak. Because I'm here.
He
We
Well,
got
I don't want to.
yeah. You
I
don't
don't.
have to. You don't have to talk. You don't have to talk. What I would like for you to do is when we talking over each other, referee it. But you don't have to talk. I could ask him what I want to ask him, and he can
okay.
ask me
All
what he
right.
want to ask me.
That's what I'll do because what I don't want is y'all stepping on each other, and I'll interject if I do that. I mean, I'll interject
Well,
if I
Shan,
see that.
I didn't want to interrupt you on your platform. I was gonna let you get everything out. I didn't know what question you was gonna ask, so I was just letting you rock out.
Well, go ahead,
So
King.
you
Did you
want me
want
to go
to?
ahead and speak, or
Or
I didn't
no,
know whose turn it was.
no. King has a question for you. Go ahead, King.
No, no. It wasn't no question. It was like, where do you think I disrespected your wife at, or was that a narrative that the comments have, and then where did you feel that you had to cut me off and then block me from going back in the chat, like especially when you made it clear many a times that your life is transparent. Anybody can ask you what they want to ask you, and you give everybody the freedom to talk on your platform. So when you by cutting me off, you censored me. And it's one thing if you say, you know what, homeboy says something, I wasn't jacking it, so he can't come back anymore. Cool. But when you cut me off, because as many times we go back and forth, talk over each other. We say disrespectful things back and forth. So that's the dynamics of the relationship that I always had with you. From the first day
Hmm.
I met you, is who you think you are? Who do you think you are? Blah, 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 blah. And then, oh, I respect you, I respect you. Then who do you think you are? So then all of a sudden, you you just cut me off. And it's cool. It's not like, okay, I want to come back. It's more so I just need an explanation. Did you really feel that I disrespected your wife? Like, be honest.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you want me to elaborate, but I wanted to answer your question
The floor
before.
is yours.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, I mean, it's not my platform, so I don't. You know what I'm saying? I try to be a little bit more courteous. But long story short, absolutely. You because it's one thing to ask a question, but it's another thing to insinuate it about 6 different times, even when the conversation and the subject has nothing to do with what it is that you keep insinuating.
Mhm.
Like, and as a matter of fact, when it comes to censorship, one of the reasons why I was super quiet is because I predicted it earlier in the show. I said, you know what? Watch this. I said, sometimes you don't even have to say anything because you're gonna let people hang themselves.
Mhm.
I said it very early in the show. And then also another reason why I was a little bit more quiet is because I was trying to give Courtney a little bit more space because I got my own show. I go live every day. I don't worry about that. But I was trying to give Courtney a little bit more room for her to be able to communicate because she had less talk time than everybody else. So that was one of the reasons, well, both of the reasons why I was quiet. But then when you insinuated 6 different times, and it's like, okay, hold on, fam. Like, I got to put a stop to this. You know what I'm saying? Like, at what point, because again, I don't care what you say about me. That don't mean nothing. And I don't even care about, you know, if you say something jab here and there or whatever about my family, whatever. I don't trip off of that. But the whole thing became, all right, hold on. What are you saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you disrespecting her? I don't even care if you disrespect me. I'm just a part of the platform. I'm a public figure that come along with the thing. But then it's like, okay, hold on. You're not about to, especially the courtesy that I gave, because I don't know if JR told you, but when me and JR are partners, I mean partners to the death. Like, that's my brother. And I was your biggest advocate. Like, I was the person when JR tapped in with me, he was like, what you think about King? I'm like, yo, I like him. I like the fact that he gonna be the person to challenge me. I see greatness in him. I think that he dope. I think he got a voice. You can ask him right now. I am the one that advocated for you the most. After the first show, he was like, what do you think about King? I said, dude, I love him. I'm a champion for him. And even when I did the recap after last Thursday's show, I never said one bad thing about you. As a matter of fact, if you go back and watch it, I was literally talking about the audience and what it is that they choose to do when it comes to right and wrong. But then after I got on the audience, I specifically said, I have nothing but goodwill for King. I think that he dope. I think that he's going to wind up being a star. I'm an advocate for him. I support him. I love him. I never said one bad word about you with you not being on the platform. That next recap and that next day, I actually held you down and I advocated for you. So from the very beginning, and I don't need to, you know, I don't need to like, you know, champion it like, hey, King, I said something about you, so make sure you act good on the platform. No, I want you to be naturally you. I think that's what make you dope. I think that's what make you authentic. I still think you're gonna be a star. But the one thing that and I've always said this, Shan, you know, I say it, it's a line. Where do you cross the line? How far do I let it go? And how far will you step over that line before you become too disrespectful for my chick? That's really what it comes down to. That's the brass tacks. And then the second thing about it is we built this from blood, sweat, and tears. My platform, Lapeef Network, since day one, we've been building this for blood, sweat, and tears. Why would I let you, after I feel like, and maybe you didn't choose, like you wasn't intentionally, according to what I was thinking, trying to disrespect my wife. Why would I let you continue to have a voice on the platform that we built from scratch, from blood, sweat, and tears, to say whatever you want to say when you want to say it after I feel like you disrespected my wife?
All right. So are you done? Because I don't want to jump over. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. Yep.
All right. So through what you were saying, I still didn't get how you felt I disrespected your wife. All I heard was you insinuated things. So that's basically what you took from it. What did I say that disrespected your wife? Because everything I asked you, I asked her because you said you've been married for 17 years. So it's a question for both of you, right? And if anybody knows me, I didn't get enough time to explain why I said, what's your options? So here's how I go and get academic on everybody. Once again, there's an academic term called the paradox of choice. You can look it up. The paradox of choice is a concept that says when you have too many options, you become stressed out and you pick the wrong one. Because one of the main questions that you ask is, how can you be 41 and I made my decision at a young age and you 41? And because I have options. That was one angle I was coming from. Another angle I said is because of the lack of cultural capital or experience, because I feel that people, man and woman, need to experience life before they make an informed decision on who's their partner. So at the end of the day, we don't have to agree with the point of views, but when you censor somebody, I know you built that from the scratch, but it's still a platform that has integrity, right? And if it has integrity, guess what? Guess what, guys? The show is over. And guess what? King is no longer allowed on the show. I respect that. But when you cut someone off and block them because I got a call saying, I said, who did that, JR? He said, I
No,
didn't
I
do
did
it.
it. I did
No,
it.
but I get it because you assumed I was talking about your wife. And one thing about communication is the speaker and the audience. What you perceive is what you perceive. I can't knock it if that's what you want. But I deserve the respect for you to say what you said. You didn't ask me what you meant by that. You said
Yes, I did.
no,
I
no, no.
specifically
I
asked
didn't,
you
I
after
didn't,
the third.
I didn't
After the third.
finish.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad.
You specifically said to me, the question was, that's when I flipped. You said, let me say one thing. And that's when your boy, the attorney, we're gonna get to him later, goes, I doubled down. Because you said, who are you talking to? I said, I'm talking to you and your wife. And I asked
Exactly.
hold on. And I asked the question again. After I said the question was, did you have options? Does she have options? It wasn't to say, you want me to say, let me know if you thought I said I was calling you or her ugly. That's what you think? You should know
That
me.
don't have nothing to do with it.
That's what I'm saying. I never called y'all that.
But I asked you. You just said first. You said that you didn't. You said that.
What?
I asked you specifically for clarity. I said, "Hold on, fam." And this was after about the third time.
Right.
I said, "Who are you talking? Who are you talking about?" You said, "I'm talking about you and your wife."
Okay.
Now, again, it's a difference if you're talking to me. I'm a man. I can eat that. I'm cool with that. I don't care what nobody call me.
Right.
I'm able to defend myself. But when I asked you for clarification and I still let you rock out and you still double and triple down after that, at what point do I say, this is a little, where is he gonna cross? Where's the line at? Where do I say,
Hold on, King.
And then at the very end, I answered your question and I said, yo, I would choose her 1,000 times over 1,000, straight up. And then I let you know again. I said, fam, you can't. I mean, I don't know how much more. Listen. Maybe I'm off. I'm always open to the possibility that I'm wrong. But you a smart dude. You real smart. Like anybody can tell, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted you on the platform, because I wanted somebody that can hold me down, right? I have to believe that you're smart enough to know when you stepping on a line. I gotta believe that. And if you don't, then let me know. But I think that you're smart enough to be able to see clearly. You from the streets, you say you from Brooklyn.
I'm not from the streets.
I'm sorry. You say you from Brooklyn, you say you thorough, you say you
I'm not thorough.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna make any assumptions, right?
Right.
But I believe that you're street smart enough to be able to read between the lines. If I'm off, then let me know I'm off.
See, so what I would like to say is that I didn't step over the line. I didn't talk about your wife. I'm not apologizing for what I said to you, but I never talked about your wife. And that's something I don't do. I don't play with people's wives or kids. You said something about my father, I explain myself. You wouldn't let me explain it, I explain myself. That's cool because we already established a relationship where you could talk about me incarcerated, you could talk about my father, you could talk about whatever, and it doesn't matter to me. You know why? Because technically we don't know each other. I don't know.
It mattered to me.
Hold on. I don't know you. So no matter what you say, you could say my mother's a this, my father, and you know why it doesn't affect me? Because I know the truth. But my thing is this: I never in my life. I wish you had asked me, yo, what are you trying to say about my wife instead of saying who are you talking about? Because I was saying that from for a while, and then you just out of all of a sudden you took offense to it. But maybe you was holding your composure. Maybe you was showing me grace, like you said. I don't know what it was, but I've been saying that. I kept on asking the question. So it's to me, I'm a different person. When someone says something I don't like, I check them immediately so they don't do it again. Maybe you don't function like that. Maybe you function with, you know what? I'm going to let him police himself. And then if he gets out of hand, then I'll jump in. But what you could do whatever you want. Like you said, I thought it was Letitia, it's your show. You could do whatever you want on your network.
No, it's me and JR show. I just want to add that clarification.
Whoever has equity, you could do whatever you want. I can't tell you to do what you don't want to do. But for me, the respect is, listen, tell me straight up how I disrespected her. because, or tell me you misinterpret me. But I'm not gonna go out as someone that disrespect a woman I don't know. That's what I'm not doing.
Now,
I don't
now,
know.
now,
Okay.
now,
Can I
King,
say
let
one
me.
thing, Shan,
Oh, go
as a
ahead.
response real quick? Well, and I think this is the difference between us because I'm smart enough to know that I crossed the boundary when I did start talking about your father, right? And I did it as a in retaliation of what it was that I thought you overstepped your boundaries about 3 times by the time that I had responded. So I'm gonna be man enough to say that I apologize. Whether you think it was offensive or not, I'm gonna apologize because I should have kept it about you and not your father. But I did retaliate, and I shouldn't have did that. And I should have never brought your father in it because he has no he not there to defend himself, and it has nothing to do with the conversation that we was having. So regardless of whether you was offended or not, I'm gonna apologize because I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have overstepped that boundary at all. But honestly, I don't believe you, bro. Just man to man, I don't believe that you're not smart enough to know where the boundaries lie when it comes to being able to be disrespectful on somebody else's platform and not being disrespectful. And honestly, again, I respect you as a man. Even on my show that I did afterwards, I never said one negative word about you. As a matter of fact, I told people to rock with you and that you would be an absolute legend and that you would be dope. And to promote your platform, I never tried to kill your name. I never did none of that. As a matter of fact, me and JR was trying to figure out what it was that we can do, and that's why I invited you on the platform. I respect you declining and everything like that, and that's cool. But I never said any one negative word about you without you being there to defend yourself. But again, I apologize
Right.
to you on behalf of your father, regardless of whether or not
Right.
you offended or not. But I don't believe that you don't know when you cross the line when it comes
Right.
to saying
Right.
certain things. And I think that I just think that it lacks integrity, bro. And I don't
Right.
understand why you would do
Right.
that. But I
So,
mean, you can do what you do.
yeah, like once again, so there you go. You're very passive aggressive in saying you're calling me a liar, but it's okay. What I would like to say to you
I
is
said
this.
I don't believe you. I didn't
No,
call
no,
you a liar.
you said lack of integrity. That means to me.
I
That's
said I
what it,
believe that it lacks integrity
yeah,
because I don't
I'm
believe
telling
you.
you that's what that means to me, right? I'm not saying that you said. I
Okay.
said what that means to me, and I'm also saying to you, at the end of the day, you don't have to apologize for what you said about my father. You don't have to apologize about anything because you didn't say anything wrong. You said, how do you know that you not that he didn't he had options? It's all right. You know why? Because I really stand firm in the fact that words don't hurt me. When I stepped into the YouTube world, the Clubhouse world, the Facebook world, at the end of the day, words don't hurt me. We as content creators need to be able to step into the ring with our gloves, and when we come out and give hugs. That's how it is. It's gonna get bloody sometimes, but you know at the end of the day, it's just for that time slot. That's the type of vibrations I'm on. You're not on that vibrations. This is why we can't do things, and I respect it. But my vibration is anything goes. We come outside. You know what? Whatever. And that's how I always rock. Whether I was in a fraternity, whether it be any gang, we will fight each other, but no one outside could beat touch us. That's how I always rock. So I don't know about the whole boundaries. And if you're gonna do something like that because you have a network, and I told the piece his network is gonna be great, then you should have a list of guidelines that things that shouldn't be crossed before someone enters it. That's what you should have. It should be some clear, concise guidelines.
All right. So I'm a little upset because I wanted to talk to Anton about what he said about, but he came out and apologized on it. So it's like he shut my whole response back because he already identified it. And I think that's the part that I was asking you before I pulled up Anton King. Do you think that you did anything wrong?
And I said yes.
Yeah, but you think what you did wrong was not managing your emotions, but you don't think that you did anything wrong to Anton. I'm not asking you, do you think that you made any behavioral mistakes?
Right.
I'm asking you, do you believe that basically you were, antagonizing somebody? Remember when I told you, I said it sounded like you. Yes, you asked a question, and your sentence ended with a question mark, but it
Right.
sounded very rhetorical. It didn't
Right.
like look like it didn't feel like you were asking to
Right.
for an answer. It felt like you were asking, but you were actually making a statement.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but okay. The point is, you didn't respect. You're saying that you didn't respect, and we could wrap this up right here. Anton, what was the specific reason why you cut him off? Was it because of the wife thing, or was it because he was disrespecting you when you were trying to speak?
It was really a little bit of both
Okay.
because
That
again,
was a good
because
alley-oop, Shan.
well,
Hmm?
the both part. So let me add the context. The wife disrespect is one thing, and again, I don't censor people, but at the same time, it's a line. Everybody got a line. You know what I'm saying? If I was up here calling you Shan and saying something that you felt like crossed the line with you, you're gonna be like, hey fam, you're probably gonna give me a warning at first, like I did. I gave multiple warnings. And then you're gonna be like, all right, I gotta cut this off. Like you're not gonna be disrespecting me on my own platform. You didn't give me a list of things that I couldn't say before I cammed up. You know what I'm saying? It's just a general idea and principle. And I think the biggest thing is I think that when it goes beyond personal insults and it goes beyond the subjects that we talk about, then it's like, this is just messy. And I'm gonna tell you why now I'm saying this because because it was disrespect for me. I felt like it was going back, it was taking me to a place because none of us is that far removed. I don't care how much money you got or what you know what the streets feel like, right?
No, I don't.
Well, I'm talking to Shan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is when I felt like I was getting to a place where I wanted to start getting personal and I was like, you know what? I need to find out what
You started to remember who you used to be?
Yeah, I was on something. I need to find out where this dude live at. You know what I'm saying? Like honestly, that was my first. That's not what I did. I'm not saying that I tried to find out where you live at or anything like that. But you know, just instinctually, the first thing that's in me is, all right, let me call my homies that live over that way and figure out what's up. But when it started getting to that point, I'm like, all right, Anton, walk away. Just walk away. It ain't even worth having this conversation. It ain't worth finding out whether or not you're gonna get to that point. Let's just get away from it. And so for me as a man, I had to make a decision as to whether or not I wanted to get to that point. Because again, two things that I don't play with when it comes to is my wife and my daughter.
Right.
And so again, that's something that I have to work on personally. I shouldn't get that way. I've been doing a lot of work personally to get away from that life. That's the thing that we all wanted to get away from when we grew up in the hood. No, ain't nobody want to go back to that. And so I have some personal work to do with regard to that because I got some growing to do. I'm not perfect in that area. I'm perfect in a lot of things. You know me, Shan. I'm gonna say I'm perfect in a lot of things, but I'm not perfect in that space. So I apologize across the board because I am open to the possibility that I'm wrong. I'm open to the possibility of doing things differently, and I shouldn't have disrespected his father. I shouldn't have let it get to the point where I started thinking about the streets. I shouldn't have probably even been in the mental space to where I had to feel like I needed to block him in order to get to that space. And it shouldn't have happened. So regardless of whether or not he accept my apology, you know, apologizing is for the person that apologizes. It's not always for the person that you need to offend. So I needed to get that off of my chest. And it was important that I said it to him to his face. And I do. I apologize. I don't want anything to ever be made of it. I think you a star. I hope that you shine bright. I can't have you shining bright on my shoulders. That's
no, and it's okay because I don't want to be on your show. I just want the world to know what's going
on my shoulders.
He said shoulders.
Okay. So whatever that means, I just want you to know at the end of the day, you know, I'm never in the business of thinking how can I say this? And I didn't mean to laugh at you when you said you were going to get people. You was thinking you had those thoughts in your head because I don't know what you're capable of doing, right? I don't know. But for further advice, right? Try not to say things like that. Because it's very crude. Because I could trip and fall and bust my head and they're gonna say you did something. We don't want to incriminate ourselves beforehand. You feel me? So this is where I'm from, because I'm not a street guy. I don't tell people what I'm thinking or what I'm gonna do. I just do it. All right. And then another thing also, I want to make very clear to you, and Shan too. I'm not gonna be cornered to be saying give an apology. I'm telling you as a man, it wasn't for his wife. I wasn't dissing his wife. So if you want me to apologize because he felt I disrespected his wife, I'm not, because I didn't disrespect his wife. And I'm not going to be persuaded to give that apology because I didn't do it. However he feels is how he feels. And whatever he says, he has to stand on it. But I'm just saying to you, we have to really come to terms, because when how do he know how I feel about being, what's that? How does he know how I felt when he was calling me gay or homosexual and stuff and doing stuff like that, right? Maybe I'm not comfortable with him saying that to me. So you know what? But he said it, and I know it's not true. So what happens is I let it brush off of me. And that's where I'm from. If it's not true, I don't care who it is, my mother, my sister, it's not true. Because if that's the case, then you're gonna be fighting for the rest of your life. Because people gonna know your weak spot. You can't fight everybody, and you can't kill everybody, and you can't call people for everybody. Because there's other people that's not gonna tolerate that. So you have to draw a line. See, my line is this, Shan. You can say whatever you want. You can say SMD. You can say your mother's a whore. You can say whatever you want, but just don't touch me. See, that's my line. And since we on internet, you can't physically touch me. So I don't take offense. That's where I stand. That's all.
All right. Sticks and stones. That's how you feel.
That's how I feel.
All right. All right. Well, I'm glad you guys was able to. I'm glad you would have an opportunity to say what you needed to say, King. I'm glad you had an opportunity to respond. And Anton, I'm glad you came up for clarification.
You know me, Shan.
You
I
know.
came up everywhere. I show up everywhere, bro. I don't. If people send it to me, and again, I respect him. I have no kind of animosity for him whatsoever. I hope that the dude is super duper successful. I have never been on my platform and said, "Hey, don't rock with him. Forget this dude, whatever." So on and so forth. As a matter of fact, the very next day, I was like, "I rock with homie." And when I let people come up and say whatever they wanted to say, I disputed them. Like, "Hey, I don't think that's really what it is. I think that he actually a dope dude, and y'all just don't understand it." So again, I respect him.
They rock with me too. But also the thing is, I don't play with the Lapeef network. Even when I got off, I still told people to follow Lapeef network. I still told people to support that. So it's not
cool.
because I don't have to be on it. I just want everybody to follow these men, let them do what they do. Whether I agree with how they move is a different story. But one thing I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna take it to heart what someone says that doesn't pay my bills. And I remember you said that. I remember you said that.
But at the same time, you don't look at it from the other perspective because you also ain't never been married with a kid, so you don't know what you would do in my situation. You think you know what you would do,
but I do have a father. I do have a father that raised me.
And that's why
I do have an elderly father. So maybe it's not the love of a
that's
husband.
why.
No. Hold
that's
on.
why
it's not a love. It's not a. It's not.
So
It's not
we're
the
interrupting again. So wait, hold on. We interrupt.
My bad.
No.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead and finish. So you were saying that he hadn't been married, and then go ahead and wrap that up, Anton.
No, I said, but that's why I apologize because my dad died 2 or 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And although you could have said something about my dad, or you could have said something about my mom, you could have said something about. Hold on. Let me explain. You could have said something about them, and it wouldn't have bothered me.
Right.
That wouldn't have meant nothing. Even what you saying it about what I perceived to be a dart at my chick. When you said it the first 5 times, it didn't bother me.
Right.
But then at the same time, my point is that that you have to also take into consideration, and this is just my thoughts, stepping into somebody else's shoes, because you can say what you want to say, but you can't control how people react to it.
Absolutely.
I'm a cool dude in that I'm never going to try to hold another dude down because I don't think he agreed with me, or I don't think that whatever, so on and so forth. I'm still advocating for you. I still think you dope. I still think you got swag. I still think you the man. I still think you a star. I still think that people need to hear what you got to say. And so I rock with you. I don't have nothing negative to say about you whatsoever.
Well, like I said, I'm glad you said that, and I'm glad we got this off our chest and it's over with. I just wanted people to know where I stand. Where I stand is I never said nothing bad about his wife. If he took it that way, that's on him. And at the end of the day, even when I said his daughter in regards to generational wealth, I said one day your daughter might have to run your company. So how you talk about me running my father's company? You didn't get heated. One thing about Anton, he corrects you as soon as you say something. So if you let me say 5 or 6 times, you never answer the question. What were her options? That's all I asked. You never answered that question. So I kept on asking it. You never answered the question.
Yeah.
Never. Not one time, Anton. You never answered that question. So I'm thinking you ignoring me.
Yeah, but we getting ready to go in circles. And
all right, that's it. So it's over with. That's it.
No, I got you.
What he said. That's it.
I got you. Yeah, and we know what happened when he did finally come off the mic. So, Anton, you
What
supposed to
up,
be
fam?
skating, bro. You supposed to be
I
enjoying your
am.
Monday, son.
I'm about to get back to doing my cardio. I know that King want me to lose weight, so I'm on top of that. All right.
I
So
don't want you to lose weight.
no, it's a joke, bro. It's just a joke. All right, I'm gonna holler at y'all.
All right, man. Thanks for
Hey,
camming up. I'll
Shan,
talk to you.
Shan, if you
Yo,
need anything, bro, you know I got you when it comes to your platform. I got a little bit of a platform, and you know I support content creators. So shout out to you, shout out to King and your future endeavors, and I hope y'all successful. I'm gonna holler at y'all.
my man.
That's it.
So, yo, King,
But
check it, bro. I'm glad you guys got that out, but that wasn't the end of the week. Also, Friday and Saturday came.
well, let's get first of all, before we go on, I'm going to get spicy. I'm not a content creator. I'm not. I am the content. Any platform I go onto, I am the content. So let's make that very clear. So, I set that to lead into what you're about to say right now.
No, that's bullshit. You are nigga. Conversations with King, KWK.
That's
Conversations
it.
with a
With
K.
King. Conversation King. That's
Everybody,
my new YouTube
if
page.
you
Go check
go,
it
if
out.
you search for Conversations with King and you use the K and not a C,
Right.
conversation K for the
Right.
Nupes, you will find King's channel and you will get you getting ready to blow people's. What are you talking about? I'm not a content creator, nigga. Please,
I'm
you.
the content. That's what
I'm
I am.
saying.
I'm the content,
I'm
man.
saying you a content. Okay, you a content creator that creates content and it is the content. So you about to make yourself available to a whole lot of people.
Right.
Conversations with King, and you gonna keep it spicy as
Right.
you do. Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was now what we did was we talked about the Lapeef Network in terms of King Talk, and we talked about the Lapeef Network in terms of their main show on Thursdays. But
Get Lauren up here.
the sweet thing about the Lapeef Network is it's a network,
Right.
and they have and JR is putting together lots of different. I mean, JR is creating a platform for a lot of different content creators to be able to shine. And one amazing person on there is Lauren, right?
Can I say
Now
one
they
thing? Can I
oh
say
go
one
ahead.
thing?
Go ahead.
You're an honest man, Shan. Even though I do, you my frat brother, but you definitely love Anton and Junior more than me, but you my frat brother. But I want to say one thing.
No.
No,
I
no,
love the
hold on,
truth. I
hold
love the
on.
truth
But
more than all of y'all niggas.
he
But go
did
ahead.
more than one thing wrong. You ain't say, but that's over with now. We put that away, and I'm proud that we could get that over with. We don't have to speak to each other again, but at least the truth came out. I just want to ask you a real question before we jump into the real topic because they want to know what happened with the lead attorney, and I'm definitely going to shake it up with him. I got to talk to that man.
I got it. I'm gonna give you a real answer. Go.
How well you think Let's Talk and King Talk is going to do without me? Honestly.
Wait, that's the name of the show. I keep saying their main show on Thursday. It's called Let's Talk.
Yeah.
It's Lapeef Let's Talk.
How well do you think they're going to do without me?
Okay. I believe, in my personal opinion, that Let's Talk is gonna do just fine without you. Let's Talk has been rocking for shit. It was Kevin Samuels was on Let's Talk talking about that's where the whole Kevin Samuels believes in domestic violence when he was just answering questions about what domestic
Oh,
violence
they
is.
said you didn't hold Anton accountable. They saying that. Everybody's saying that. I just want you to know that.
No, because I'm not reading it. I'm not reading the chat.
Okay.
I don't pay attention to the chat.
Right.
And the thing is, no, I didn't hold him accountable. The reason why is because he held himself accountable. I wanted to get on Anton about what he was talking about your dad.
He said,
be like,
that
now,
was
bro.
one comment. That was nothing. I don't care about that.
Yeah, but see, you don't care about that, but I did.
Right.
And a whole lot of other people did. And a lot of people was like, yo, man, why you coming at his pops like that? And you almost judging him for him running his dad's company. I believe that you talked about generational wealth, and it was a perfect comeback, bro. To be honest with you, it was like, well, what are you saying? What's wrong with running your pop's company in black community? That's what we don't do. It's not about the nuclear family in the black community. Running your dad's company is what fucking Donald Trump did.
And guess what?
Donald Trump.
And guess what? I do it pro bono.
Oh, I don't know, but I know you. I don't know. I don't know. I just know that you make bread. I know you make a lot of money. I know, you know what I'm saying. I know.
I don't
I
make no
know.
money. No, we all got IRS. I don't
That's
make
right.
any money.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we all broke. I got you. But
Right.
you helping Pops pro bono. The point is generational. In eradicating poverty out of our lineage should be a goal for everybody. And so when the jabs came about Pops, I was thinking,
Right.
damn, man, Ty, why are you talking about his dad? Shit, this nigga King is doing it like I want to do it for my sons. I hope my sons grow up one day and is doing what King is doing for his dad, that my sons is doing for that my sons will do for me what King is doing for his dad. But I didn't get a chance to because the nigga held himself accountable. So he came in and was like, man, you know what? I don't know if you took it the wrong way, but what I said about your dad, I apologize for that. And you like, man, I don't even need you to apologize. That didn't bother me.
Right.
See, that's because to you, shit rolls off. But to me, I probably would have took that a little bit more personal than you did. And a lot of people took that a little bit personal. And so when people say, I guess they're saying in the chat that I'm not holding Anton accountable, that's the one thing I wanted to hold him accountable, because all the other shit you guys go back and forth is damn near equal. You know, all about who's fucking prettier. You know, you hear the shit you guys complain. Who's sexier? Who got a real Rolex watch? I'm rocking mine right now. I got my Daytona on right now.
Right.
But the point is, that kind of stuff is irrelevant. Who drives? What kind of cars y'all drive? Who house is bigger? Who has property, property, and all that kind of stuff? That stuff don't matter. It got to the point where you guys start getting personal, and I'm just simply saying, Anton had no business dissing Pops and talking about the whole company, and then you had no business in your mind, not thinking it was, but in my mind, dissing or even discussing his wife in the manner in which you did. And that's what I'm doing. So did I get a chance to hold Anton accountable? Not really, because Anton already held himself accountable.
You would. The reason why they saying that is because you said when you see him, you're going to hold him accountable, like the way you did me. You held him accountable, but not the way you held me accountable. But maybe because we're in the same fraternity. So
No. It's because you keep giving pushback and he didn't. See, when I'm asking you for accountability, you keep giving me an excuse as to why you shouldn't be held so. That's the problem I'm still having with you right now, because you keep saying I'm trying to corner you into apologizing. It's like, bro, you don't even think that you did nothing wrong. You don't think that you don't, like, he's telling you, though, you did this 5-6 times. You like, if you know what you just said. You said, and I'm still coming at you. So you know what you said. You said, you know what? If Anton feels that I said something bad about his wife, that's on him. It's like, that's not even, you know what I'm saying? That's not even how motherfuckers talk. But that's how you get down. That's how you get down. I couldn't say that to some. Go ahead.
You're right.
That's what you said.
You're right. So just so we don't beat this dead horse. You absolutely right. But that's how I feel, and I don't want any problems. So I'm glad we squashed it, and he don't want any problems. I'm glad he squashed it. But then you have to understand he's passive aggressive. When you say I'm thinking about calling people in Europe, and that's why I laugh, because I'm just trying to let him know I might not have social media etiquette, but I know a conspiracy case and indictment case when I hear one. You feel me? So let's refrain from saying such things like that. If you're gonna do that, do that. That's why this is he. That's why I said he said stuff like that.
Like what?
What he just said. Like I was thinking about having people come to your court near you. You feel me? And he was saying
where? Oh, to my show?
No, to me. To my community, Brooklyn. To my remember.
The whole street shit, the street talk. Okay,
we gotta leave that alone, please.
Yeah.
Please leave that alone. That's not a place that we want to go, and that's a place that I'm comfortable in. I don't want to do that. I'm here for. I want to be like y'all. I want to be like y'all. I don't want to be like that. I don't like that. I'm comfortable, but I don't like it. Like you're in the military. You're comfortable shooting people and doing all that stuff, but you don't want to do that.
No.
Right. So just leave that alone. That's what I was saying. Leave that. He said that in the other show too. I know more people in Brooklyn. I was like, whoa. I laughed again. I don't want no problems. I'm making you everybody call me scared, call me. I don't want no problems. I got issues. I don't want no problems. Thank you. Because it's not gonna happen anyway. That's number one. But two, right. I don't want to promote that. That's it. I don't want to promote that. So let's talk about something else, but you're absolutely right. The reason why I asked you how you think they're going to do afterwards was a way for me to spark some fire into them. because they didn't that the Let's Talk is a popping show, but it didn't get popping.
No, I didn't finish. I didn't finish my answer.
Oh, sorry.
So there's two shows, right? There's two shows. There's Leaf Let's Talk, which is Thursdays. I think that show is going to do fine.
Right.
I think that show is going to do fine. I've never been on that show, and I think it'll do fine without you. It's been doing fine all the way up. You've only been on two shows.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the show that they talk about a lot of different things. And I think JR is actually really doing really well with that, and I think he's actually doing well with the whole network. But the thing is, the King Talk. See, you were there day one. I was there day one. Right. It's only been 3 episodes, and right. King Talk without King don't sound right. It don't feel right.
Right.
First of all, it's complete coincidence that your name is King. Right. You know, I know everybody from Brooklyn calls you Mo. I know, your actual, Mo Cheddar. So your name on the block is Mo Cheddar, but the name on the internet and as a creator of content and the content creator and being the content yourself is King. And that's what you're come to know for most of the people here on YouTube and at Clubhouse. So it's a complete coincidence that the name of the show is King Talk.
Right.
And then your name is King.
Right.
And the fact that and I don't know that are you saying that you're not coming to the show? Because I don't think that you
I'm saying
I believe you are invited to the show. I don't think
I'm not. I like that. Somebody said no cheddar. Somebody used that joke a long time ago. I like that. I'm not going to. He made it clear. I'm not gonna. He's not gonna. It's not gonna be on his shoulders. And I still don't feel comfortable giving someone control when to cut me off at any given time. So it's cool. It's all right. Like I said, this is a pastime for me. It's a hobby for me. This is cool. And I want to say thank you. What I should have said, and I apologize. So if I talk to Anton, tell him I want to say thank you to the Peef Network, Anton, and JR. Because of you, my book sold out on Amazon. Paperback was sold out the first day. The day I was on that show. And everybody's buying the online copies. I want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you. Damn God, I didn't sign no contract because they would have had a piece of that. You feel me?
What book? What book though?
A Love and Life Through the Eyes of Travel. But the lead attorney calls it a pamphlet and a brochure. So we're going to talk about that later. But at the end of the day, I want to say thank you because I sold so many books. You gave me visibility. So I'm always going to win one way or another. So they did help me sell that. Too bad I'm not going to give them any PC, but thank you. I could show my gratitude.
Got you. All right. So when it comes to King Talk, so my response is it's so new and you were so polarizing from day one and from week 1 and week 2 that it'll feel weird. But the thing is, the internet is large. We had 1,000 viewers. Right. There was 1,000 viewers. Well, no, maybe it was like 1,000 viewers each night. Right. The thing is, the Peef Network is pretty big. So will it last? Ultimately, yes, but people are going to be asking, where the fuck is King?
Right.
People are going to be saying, where's King?
Right.
This people, maybe even some of the people that checked in the beginning, because they ain't there for me. They don't give a fuck about, I'm the guy that just gives, I'm pragmatic. I'm pragmatic. I give a whole lot of,
You are who I was hoping JR would have been in Let's Talk. And no shots to him. But you are what the role you serve in King Talk is what I was hoping JR was doing in Let's Talk, which is making sure everybody stays in line.
Got it.
And he tried to do it because he got off the phone and tried to talk to him, but it wasn't successful. Once again, JR is the man. I respect him. We're not taking that away from him, but I thought he was going to be able to hold it down like you have and Ask the Black Man Army. Right?
You added that army joint. I like
Ask
that.
the Black Man Army because it is an army. And because you're not going to get a place where you get 13 well-to-do men all in the same room together. Gotcha. Period. Right? And then also what you did in King's Talk, you kept the balance. And you do that in the clubhouse room as well. So I was hoping that he did that. He didn't do that. And so I don't feel comfortable, but JR is the man, and we're not taking that away from him. As for everybody else, I definitely wish them well and do what they got to do. But I don't think it's going to do as well because this is based on my assumption. Lapeef Network is going to blow up. It's going to blow up. But those
Gotcha.
two shows are not going to do as well because those, so Let's Talk, in my opinion, got popping after Kevin Samuels. They changed their whole content and they started talking about relationships and stuff because it's something that's been thriving. That can only go but so far if you don't have someone like me that thinks out the way. That's why, as much as they hate Kay is instrumental because she's not a part of the manosphere, right? You don't. We're not gonna go someplace that we're gonna hear the same thing. We want to go someplace to people go places to go against someone or to be entertained. And without people like me and Kay, it's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. That's just me. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion. So, but that network is gonna blow up. That network is like Wu-Tang. They got different personalities that could do their own shows, but they come back together. It's kind of like Ask the Black Man Army. It's the same thing, but they have women on it, and so I think the network, after different shows and restructuring, is gonna be one of the biggest ever. Period. That's
Gotcha.
it. But as for those shows without my presence, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
All
So
right.
can we talk about the lead attorney now? Can we talk about because I want to get on him because get Lauren up here. Can somebody ping Lauren? Because we got beef with Lauren. I got issues with Lauren.
You got issue with Lauren?
It's not a I don't beef with women, but when I say issues, I felt that Lauren tried to protect me up there. She did the best she can. But I want to talk to Lauren, have a brother to sister talk. And
Well,
let
give
her
everybody let's give everybody a little bit of backstory about the Lauren
Lauren,
thing.
get
So,
Lauren up here too, if y'all can. Call Lauren, get Lauren up here.
well, she's like she said on TLA's show on Saturday, she's moving, so she might be on the road. I don't know.
Get
You
TLA up
know, Lauren is dope. But listen, so Lauren has a show on the Lapeef Network called Lunch with Lauren, and she just launched it, right? She's getting ready to launch her own show on her own platform, but this is a springboard for her. And it's actually, from what I understand, is going really great, especially after her first interview, which was 2 weeks ago with uh, the lead attorney. And then the very next show with you, you were the special guest. So whoever did the artwork on that show with you and her, how y'all mixed y'all together, it looked like y'all took a picture together. It was dope. Anyways, so you went on the show with Lunch with Lauren. And by the way, you know Lauren is a Zeta?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I didn't know
That's
that,
why,
man.
that's why, that, that's why we
She
were,
representing
that's why,
Zeta Phi Beta, finer
mhm,
womanhood. So
mhm.
that was exciting for me because I got a love for people in the MPHC. So you went on the show with Lunch with Lauren on her second episode.
Mhm.
Now, um, that show is on Wednesday. So this past Wednesday, so that's the thing about it. You've been trending like really all week, bro. So when Wednesday, you go on the show on the Lapeef Network as well.
Right.
This is before. No, this is the day. No, this is before the Thursday show that you did with Lapeef Network. Let's talk. This is and Friday with the response from Anton, and Saturday with the lead attorney.
Right.
But on that Wednesday, you went on the show and you guys had a wonderful discussion. You guys was talking about things. You guys brought up other people. Was talking about
Mhm.
different issues. And even Anton himself came
Mhm.
up. He cammed up and came on that show, and you guys had some discourse and you talked and ended, and everything was just cool, right? And he was talking about how he respected you, and you was talking about how you respected him, but
Mhm.
you guys still aired out your differences, and
Mhm.
that just that the dynamic that you two have was just present on that show, right?
Mhm. Yo, shout out to Anton for coming up and talking to me and rising to the occasion. Whether we get along or not, that's all I wanted. So go on. I'm sorry.
Oh, you talking about tonight?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the only thing I wanted. Shout out to that.
got it.
Mhm.
So lunch with Lauren, she had you on, and a
Mhm.
sequence of things happened, and I looked at them and I was paying attention to them, and I kind of dissected it a little bit. So hear me out. This is what I caught.
Okay.
This is what I caught. I watched it earlier today. I watched it earlier today to
Right.
see, because I was looking like what happened with my guy, and
Right.
what went on, and what pushed this to the
Mhm.
point.
Mhm.
So lunch with Lauren, you was on the show. You guys was talking about what you was talking about, and then you shot your shot. Let's call it what it is. But you did it in the manner in which King does it. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
smooth with the ladies. That's how you get down. And when you said, you know what, and your shot came, man, I waited to the time that I got to the I waited in life till I got to the point that I can afford 2 Laurens.
Right.
I thought that was smooth. I thought
Right.
that was smooth. Right. You know, I wrote that down, son. You know, I
Right.
wrote that down. I had to put that down so I
No.
could use that
Yeah,
out here in LA.
you're good. You're good, man.
I
You're
was like, I
good.
got to use that one. So, baby,
I
I
might
can
have to
afford.
recruit you for my network, man.
I waited. I'm gonna tell them out here in Los Angeles. You know, I waited until I got to the point that I can afford 2 of you,
Right.
but I only need 1 of you. So, oh, that was a smooth. So
Right.
you threw that out there. You threw that
Right.
out there. But here's what happened.
Right.
Them comments, and this is why, King. See, people say I'm coming on you, but I'm coming on you as a global thing because I only came on you one thing when it came to Anton, and Anton's thing was about the dad. But then I talked to you about how you interrupt. I talked to you about how you check those messages. So I talked to you about other things because again, me and you've known each other since fucking winter of last. Winter. We've known each other since February.
We part of Noble. We part of Noble.
And we frat. And so, and you be looking in them chats. Like right now, I don't really look in the chats. I'll look at them later, but I want to kind of concentrate on what you're saying. And you be in them chats, and them chats be driving you. And so what happened was when you shot your shot, Chicago, our guy Rilla, Chicago Rilla was out there teasing you. And he said, "Oh, you didn't catch that? I thought you caught that because TLA and the after you shot your shot, and said I could take care of 2 Laurens, and Lauren blushed a little bit. You was like, Chicago said TLA gonna beat your ass. He said that.
I didn't see that.
So he was teasing. You know what I'm saying? Because Chicago, cause you was rocking. Chicago was rocking with you. He's like, oh, you know how? So he typed it in there. And if I would have been on live, I would have said the same shit. So Chicago was like, TLA gonna beat your ass. And then the thing about it is, that was funny. And then as you guys were continuing to have the conversation, there was a point that she started saying something, and then you cut her off. Now, remember I told you about interruption, right? So you actually cut off your host, and we don't want you. That's something. You got listen, King. There's going to be a lot of people that want to have you on their show because you have very direct approach, and you really cut. You kind of like. There's no chaser when it comes to you. It's just straight down. And people need that these days. They don't want no more sugarcoating. They don't want no more nice talk. Motherfuckers has been getting nice talk for decades. Now they need to just hear it straight up. And that's what kind of guy you are. And people are going to be inviting you to their platform. But when they invite you, you got to give them the microphone. That's one of the reasons why frat Nupe Kevin Samuels, he'll cut. Like, what you're not going to do is overtalk me on my platform. I'll shut this shit down. When you go on somebody's show, you want to give them, even when it feels like you can't say something, just reserve it. You'll get the opportunity to say it. So what you did was she was getting ready to say something, and you kind of cut her off, and then she was taken aback. And TLA, he was like, "Yo, he just cut my girl off," and then she threw that up on the screen. Now I know you didn't catch that because you was passionate talking to the guy that was on the show with her, because you guys again was bringing up callers at the time, but you had actually cut her off. And so that's just was in the chats. I'm thinking you caught that. Maybe you didn't catch that, but it looked like you caught that. And then what happened was, because of that shot that you had shot earlier, people start teasing. Now there's another lady named Lucky Marie. Oh, she fine too. You need to look up Lucky Marie.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yo, look, there's a young lady out of Vegas. Her name is Lucky Marie. She real fine. She cams up with Anton all the time. They have really great dialogue. She was one of the mods, and she was like, bring TLA so they can fight on screen. That's what Lucky said. Yeah, that's what Lucky said. This is another girl. Just like, okay, cool. Anton is. King is shooting his shot at Lauren, because this is the end of the show. Show getting ready to end. You could tell. King shot his shot. Chicago said what he said. Then Lucky was like, yo, bring up and then TLA said, oh, you just cut my girl off. Now TLA said my girl, so he just cut my girl off. So he's almost kind of pseudo claiming her. And then Lucky says, bring up TLA so they can fight. And then people start going crazy in the chat. They're like, oh, King took the lead attorney's girl. They were saying that the lead attorney is at home punching in the air. They're doing all that. You know how chat is. That's why you stay out of the chat.
I didn't see chat.
That's what happened. That's
why that show was the most seamless of any show I had, because I didn't look at the chat.
What happened?
I was completely immersed in it. If you watch that show, that was probably the most seamless show I ever had, with no interruptions or talking over people. I was straight up with the point. It was smooth. So I didn't look at the chat. So that holds
Got
to
it.
your point, right?
So the TLA though, I'm sorry, the lead
Yo.
attorney, he was laughing.
Hmm.
So he was LOLing and he was going along with it. And he was like, he was all good with it, right? And
Hmm.
he even saluted when Rilla had said that, and he was just like, everything was fine. And
Hmm.
then, um, Lucky, she kind of turned up the petty heat, and then she had posted King 100 because everybody was saying at this point you had said, "Yo, tell me the honest truth." And let me ask you this: if you wasn't
Right.
looking at the chat, and now I'm gonna give you the mic. If you
Right.
wasn't looking at the chat, then what made you say, "Hey, Lauren, if you had an opportunity to pick me or the lead attorney to take you to Spain or someplace you said, who would you take?" Why did you even mention that if you didn't see what was popping in the chat
I didn't see
prior
what
to you asking that question?
I didn't see what's happening in the chat, but I do watch videos. Anytime I go on someone's show, even though
Hmm.
they called me up to do the show the day before, I do research and I saw their chemistry.
Ah,
I never knew that they were actually talking. And just to keep it spicy, I mentioned a date to Barcelona, Spain, because my book is about travel as well.
okay.
So I said, "Who would you take to Barcelona, Spain, and why?" And when she answered me, when she responded, "I don't want to talk about it," something like that, then I knew something was going on,
Hmm.
because she would have said his name just to play with me, or say my name just to joke around. But I knew something was going on, and I'm like, "Oops." And if you watch right afterwards, I said, "I'm joking. I don't want no sexual harassment." That's what I said exactly after I asked that question. I'm just joking. That came
See,
right
that's the
after.
thing about it. But somebody in the chat had mentioned sexual harassment, and then you said that, so that's what gave me additional impression
No, I
that you
saw
was
that.
actually
I saw that.
monitoring.
I saw that on the chat. I definitely saw sexual harassment on the chat. I'm not gonna lie about
Oh,
that. I saw that.
okay.
And I said, I'm joking. It's not like that. But even before that, I have DMs with her when I said, I don't. It's not like that. Don't get twisted. Um, Lauren is gorgeous. She is really pretty in the face, and she has a gentle spirit. And she will make any man happy to be his wife. Lauren is everything. Lauren is
Hmm.
everything. She's so dope. She makes me feel comfortable just talking to her. Even when TLA was saying what he was saying about me and my pamphlet and brochure, right? Wait, that Lapif network helped me sell out. Thank you. Um, she stood up and said, "Put some respect on his name." And for that alone, I blocked her from Instagram because I know her and him got a thing together, so I didn't want to mess that up. But if she's not talking to him, I would love to fly her to New York and have dinner with her to say thank you as a friend and as a sister. I don't want to be with her, but the fact that she stood up for me, I appreciate that. Just give me her name, her birthday. I'll fly her to New York for a dinner so she can know that I'm a gentleman, and it wasn't like that. That's number one. Because I'm not here to talk about a cheap ass steakhouse that I went to. I'm not here to do that, because what the lead attorney did was
Wait, wait,
talk.
wait. Let me finish something
Yeah.
because we're gonna get to Saturday. I want to finish up with the Wednesday
Okay.
thing, and
Okay.
this is where I'm not. This is where I'm gonna ask you this question because I get
Right.
it. You say you wasn't paying attention to the
Hmm.
chat, and
Hmm.
everything was all good
No,
up to this
I saw
point.
sexual harassment though. That's nothing to play with. I saw
No, no,
that.
I got you. But I didn't even write that down. That wasn't even a point.
Right.
So everything was good. You shot your shot about you can take care of two Lawrence. Chicago was teasing you
Right.
about TLA gonna get that ass, and then TLA was like, "Oh, you just cut my girl off," and that was posted. Bring TLA on.
Hmm.
Lucky was like, "Bring TLA on," and because Lucky was moderating,
Hmm.
and then people was antagonizing, people was going back and forth, and then you asked that question, and then
Hmm.
people was like, nah, and then you mentioned the chat. You actually mentioned it. You was like, people are saying, uh, that's the go with TLA. You actually said it in. So I know maybe at that point is when you finally took a look at the chat, but it looked like you were looking at it earlier.
So
But
I asked
anyways,
the question at the end of the thing. I asked the
okay,
question.
got you. So no, but I'm saying you had mentioned, everybody after you asked that question, you looked at the chat to see what people were saying.
Right.
And so, and people were saying go with King, and people were saying go with
Oh,
TLA,
because
and
remember
people were saying
she said, "What do y'all think?" That's why I look. Remember, she said when I
Okay,
asked
I
her,
got you. So that's why you look. So the
okay,
thing is, Lucky was like, yeah, go with King. And Lucky was teasing and she was just having fun with it. But the thing is, Lauren posted Lucky's message when she said King 100 100. She put that up on the screen. And so I was like, oh. And so so now I'm thinking and that's why people was like, TLA is probably punching in the air right now
right,
because he's thinking like, damn, you know what I'm
right,
saying? First of all, Lucky's saying that, then she's
right,
posting that up on the screen, and then she
right,
didn't, so he's looking at it like, what the, what am
right,
I here, chopped liver? And
right.
so, one thing that you mentioned, and this is where I want you to maybe see anything, if you see any, because we get ready to talk about Saturday and TLA show. You had said, I hate that you like TLA.
Yes, I did say that.
You said, I hate that you like TLA.
I said, I don't know if I said hate. I said, I get jealous sometimes
No,
that you like TLA.
I put it in quotes. I hate
Okay.
that you like TLA.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And I know that you said that in jest.
Right.
I know that you said that because niggas don't know you like Shan knows you.
Right.
But I want to know, do you think, before I go on, okay, I'll just say both things. And then later on,
Right.
you said, because I know you like street dudes, blah, blah, blah. You like
Men with finance, felonies,
yeah.
and flavor.
And then you mentioned dark skin, and you emphasized dark skin, bald headed dudes.
Right.
And the manner in which you mentioned it, it was almost like, don't fuck with them brown skin niggas. You want to come on the chocolate side. I'm just saying what it look. I'm like, so let me ask you, Nupe. When you say I hate that you like TLA, and do you? And I know you
Now
interested
they like
in
you
these
now. You actually you getting into me now. They talk about it. Now you doing your job, Shan. You doing it good now, baby.
Is there any particular reason why you mentioned that part?
First of all, when I told him I hate that you like him, I also said I'm joking. He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
I certainly did. I was gonna give it to you, but you took it.
I said that. I didn't. So it's just me trying.
I think you even said I like him. It's like I
I
like
said
him.
I like him. I like him. I bigged him up. I subscribed to his thing before he said something stupid about me, and I took it off. But I like him. It doesn't matter. He has 66,000 followers. He doesn't need me. But you're not going to get my subscription no more, right? But at the end of the day, I like him, and I like what he represented. Do I think that he has issues? Yes. Do I think that he brings something different? Yes, because he could never run out of content because he's talking about the litigious aspects of every situation that happens in life. He could never run out of content. But
did you say anything bad about him?
Never.
And I never heard it.
Never.
I never heard you say nothing bad about him.
Because he's like I said, this is why I feel disrespected. And I hope he doesn't take it the wrong way. But I don't care.
Wait. Why do you feel that he felt disrespected? Because you didn't disrespect. I didn't hear.
I felt disrespected.
Oh, you felt this. Okay, right. Go ahead.
Because what he said about me, he had a show on Karen Civil.
Okay, I was getting ready to say, well, you got to give people the backstory. So we gave them the story about what happened on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
You shot your shot. You had no idea. You was just joke. Everybody was happy. Everything was cool. Mm-hmm. She's like, come back to the show. Everything was all good. Mm-hmm. And you never dissed him. It didn't even. You never said nothing bad about the brother. You never did nothing wrong. You was just having. You just talking to your host. Mm-hmm. So it's all good. You was good there. And I was looking to see if you did, but I couldn't. You was clean, bro. So I'm just. So now I think where you're saying is, why did I get what I got on Saturday? So tell everybody what happened on Saturday.
So Saturday, you got this man who was doing a show on Karen Civil and her allegedly stealing money from several artists in the industry, particularly Jonah. This artist named Jonah.
Yeah. Karen Civil. That's a big thing going on right now.
Right. And it's funny because anyway, it's a different story. That's why when I do my show, I'm not gonna be talking about people. They're gonna be there. This is different. I'm a different person, but. He said he spent literally 60% of the show talking about me and Lauren. And let me make something clear to you. Lauren is a beautiful woman. She has an amazing show, and she's going to be a star. She's a star. That's number one, right? I don't want to deal too much because I don't want to mess up her situation with a man that I believe to be insecure. I feel disrespected by the lead attorney because, and it's probably my ego, when I look at the lead attorney, I see a polished man. He says he's 6'3", 200 and change, whatever, and I'm 6'1", I'm 200 and change, right? He says when I look at him, I look at a guy that I used to protect, or I used to stand next to, so the gangsters or the bullies wouldn't bully him. Now, as he gets older, this is the karma I get. You talk about people like me that made sure it was able for you to go to school safely. I don't look at him as a man that was always in the cool crowd. You could tell he wasn't always the cool guy. You could tell he wasn't always the in person. He just came into this character that he has now. Whether he took some image consulting from our brother, Nupe, that's what I think. I think he's made up, because any man that has to talk about another man to impress a woman is considered a player hater, and that's a sign of weakness. He said, "Oh, I came to your show to help you out," and he came to your show to sell a book. He's using you. What? I was asked to get on that show. I didn't actually do that. But if we're gonna do it, let's talk about my show. I'm gonna sell my book because I'm not getting paid. I'm gonna sell my book. Second of all, he's saying, "Oh, him out of everybody, Idris maybe, but him." It's like compare Burger King. He ran with the Burger King jokes to Fogo de Chao. All right, check this out, homeboy. I don't eat at Fogo de Chao. That's not even a #1 steakhouse. That's a joke. The only time I ate at Fogo de Chao was in Fogo de Chao in Brazil, where it was created. That's the only time I flew to Bahia, Brazil with a lady and ate at Fogo de Chao where it was created. We are two different people. You went to University of Georgia and got your degrees. I went to the top tier schools. Period. Like, we're not the same person. You might carry yourself a little bit more prominent, but we're not the same people. And so for you to talk about me, and he said, this is why I didn't respect him. He said, "I don't know about the situation, but he can't talk about my boy like that." And I told you, if it doesn't concern you, stay out of it. Like you said, if he's not here, I'm not going to talk about him. And then when I manned up to go and talk to him face to face, he didn't want to talk to me. I can't respect a man like that. There's nothing about a man like that I can respect, because you're moving very feminine. I have my feminine ways too. I talk over people. I get animated. But I give a man a chance to talk, and we could square up, we could do whatever. But why are you talking about me to impress this girl? I'm sorry, this lady. I apologize, Lauren. This lady. You're doing that for what? And the reason why I want to fly Lauren out and just talk to her and as a friend, whatever, is because I didn't like what he said about her. He said you could take the girl from Detroit, but you can't take Detroit out with a girl. On camera, on national TV, and you like this girl? And you like this girl? Why are you mad? He has misdirected anger. He basically said he was mad at her, but took it out on me and said I'm collateral damage. I'm not no punk. You're not going to just use me to make a girl like you more. That was corny. That was corny. Then he called my book a pamphlet. It took me 5 years to write this book of 122 pages. And the reason it's like this, because it's really affirmations and it's written in a poetic way. When you read it, you're going to love the book. No, listen, Shan, any girl would choose me over TLA. Let me tell you why. When you walk the streets with me, you know I'm going to risk my life to make sure you get home safe. If you walk the streets with him, someone jumps out the bush, he's going to fight like this. That's who he is. He's not that type of man. I didn't want to play him, but everybody, since I've read through his cats, always questions his sexuality. I don't question sexuality because I know dandy men that get all the type of girls. Prince, he gets every girl. You feel me? So I'm not going to play him and say, "Oh, you think that's easy." I'm not going to do that. But what I'm going to say is, if you look better than me, if you think you look better than me, if you have more accolades than me, and you live in Atlanta with all those girls, why are you mad that she didn't mention you? Go and get another one. They should be coming down. They should be coming out the woodworks. Why are you putting me down? Why are you trying to throw dirt on my name to oppress a girl when you say you have options? See, the word is options. Options hurt people. You know what the word options hurt people? I'm saying, because options really show how much wealth you have and access. That word options, if you have so much options, why do you care about that girl because she didn't claim you in public? And then when she asked you, how do you feel about me? What do you say? You don't claim her, but you still want to talk down about her. That's corny. You allegedly you look better than me. You got more accolades than me. You talked about my book, but you still worried about me. The fact that you could talk about me for 60 to 7% of your show. That's called SDE. You know what SDE is?
No, what's that?
Small dick energy. If you really the man that you are, then you don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You know what I do? I used to do to girls. Yo, keep your boyfriend. We just gonna have fun. And he's the man. I think he's a good dude. I think you should keep him. He's excellent. Me and you are just having a moment right now. I'm never talking down on another man just to have sex with a girl. That's corny. And
Got you.
she's gonna realize that. And she's never gonna take him seriously. I know once again, Lauren, you're beautiful. I just want to take you out just to talk to you. I want to make you feel protected. I don't want you with a man. If he sees any danger, he's gonna go like this. Okay? I don't want you with a man that fights like that. I want you with a man. I know he takes Taekwondo, but when the shit hits the fan, he's gonna be swinging like this. And I don't want you to be with a man like that. I'm telling you what type of man he is. He's not the one for you as a brother. That's all. Thank you.
It's all about you being able to get your word out, because the reality is you weren't there to be able to speak your piece, and you wasn't given the opportunity to come up and talk about it when you tried to on Saturday. And I rock with the TLA too. Remember I told you he's my inspiration in this YouTube. I fuck with him.
He's
He's
your
my
what?
that's he. I said I rock with him.
You say
I fuck with him. He's my,
you say he's your inspiration?
yeah, for my YouTube channel. Yeah,
What,
yeah, I fuck with
what do you
him. He
mean?
made video. I've been watching his video. I was
What do you
watching
mean
his videos, and I
inspiration?
was,
What do you mean
huh?
inspiration?
To go to monetize my channel. See, remember I'm a fashion dude. I'm at my studio. I wish I could turn the camera.
Right,
I'm downtown in my fashion studio. I'm a
right,
fashion designer, bro. And I've been talking for free
right,
to niggas for years. I've been helping boys become better men for years just for free. And
right,
then my other monetized channels is my
right,
brands, like
right.
my classic club brand,
Mm-hmm,
my bars raw brand.
mm-hmm.
Those are all monetized, at YouTube and Facebook. But I never
Right,
monetized myself. It wasn't until I saw the TLA that
right,
I decided to monetize myself.
right.
So he inspired me to do that, and then he's allowed me on his platform as well.
Okay, that's respect. What I'm gonna say is in regards to me, this is why I didn't respect Anton because everything he said Anton sent me a clip of what happened. I didn't watch the full thing, and he
Yeah,
told me Burger King. So that's why I said Anton could play around with y'all and say these apologies, but Anton made it public. He reads Sun Tzu, The Art of War. He does everything to pretend that he's not and still go to war with you. And it's
got you.
cool because you can't beat someone like me because I'm not playing a game with you.
Because
I'm not.
you studied the art of war as well. You know.
I'm not even fighting him. We're in a different fight, right? So I'm just saying to TLA, mind your business and worry about your woman that you want, and stop wasting her time. That's what I'm saying. And I'm also saying at the day, why are you mentioning my name and not let me come up there and defend myself? And
Do
also
you
at
do
the
you
day, and
do you?
also, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just gonna ask you. Do you believe? Because he mentioned it. Do you believe that maybe he's just in his feelings? Because he said it.
I
He said
mean,
maybe I'm
he
just in my
mentioned it,
feelings.
that's why I said he's an insecure man and he had misdirected anger. Like he was fighting himself on stage. I don't think I saw that. Oh, I might be in my feelings, but come on, not him. I was talking to you. How you gonna tell the whole world that you was talking to her the night before and y'all had sweet nothings and then you felt offended at that's something and then you talked about it, then you still brought on a show. Either he's run out of content because his show is informative, but it's not entertaining. It's a difference. You see, with me, it's entertaining, right? You might get little gems here and there, but it's informative. But I could go to CNN to get that news. I could go to Breakfast Club to get his news. I could get that. I could get that. So I'm not trying to play him, but he got to tread lightly because he looked like a weak man that didn't know how to handle rejection. And this is why I know he wasn't cool when he was younger. I've been getting rejected all my life. So when a girl says no, it's a no. I'm sorry, baby. You know what? I apologize. Thank you. I'll go to the next girl. Oh, I don't like you. I don't like who you are, how you present. You know what? I apologize. I'm going to work on that. Cool. You feel me? Because she might feel that way that day, but the next 3 or 4 years, as we know as men, women change their mind after 3 or 4 or 5 years and like, hey, I like you. He's not there. He's not mature when it comes to relationships. He's not. And maybe I'm not
Well,
married either. I'm not married either. I don't have any kids. But I would never tell another. You tell me, you a man's man, Shan. Have you ever talked down about another dude to get a woman's attention or sex?
no, no. Come on, Nupe. Come on, Nupe.
I
Nupe.
don't know.
Nupe. We don't.
Right.
We don't that kind of energy. Come on now. Listen, hell no. Hell, double hockey
And I'm not,
sticks,
and
no.
let me make it clear. I'm not talking about him because I'm trying to take him away from a girl. I'm talking about him because he talked about me, and I want to let him know his character flaws.
And that's the
Don't,
thing about it. See,
don't make
because
fun of.
the
Listen,
reality is before Saturday, you was cool, 100%, totally okay with the lead attorney. You was totally fine with him.
I don't know him, but yeah, he's dope. I don't know him,
He
but
was
he's dope.
yeah, and then all of a sudden on Saturday happened, and he, even though he said he was more upset with Lauren, that you were like, I guess,
Collateral damage.
collateral damage or a casualty of war or some shit
Right.
like
He tried
that.
to make me. He doesn't know me, but because of the information he got from Anton, because he said it, I got everything from Anton directly. He tried to belittle me, right? And he doesn't know me. See, Anton set him up for failure because Anton, if he had known that I went to certain schools I went to, he probably wouldn't have said that. If he had known that I'm part of a fraternity of a guy that he looks up to, he wouldn't have said that. But Anton didn't tell him that information. You feel me? He said what he heard, and he also said, "I don't know the information. I'm just going by what he told me in a clip." He clearly said that. So why are you talking about me? And then why are you talking about me to a woman? You put her in a bad predicament. It's very uncomfortable to put a woman like that in a predicament. I asked her a playful question. You put her on a hot seat and made her feel bad because she didn't want to claim someone that didn't claim her. We're not the same type of people. And for you to say that you listen, let me talk to the lead attorney for 1 second. Lead attorney, as you get older, right? You should be older. Looks to women is secondary. They go off of vibrations and how you make them feel and what they remember, how you make them feel, and how you make them think about themselves. She said something to you that should have made you feel bad. You told you make $20,000 a month in YouTube. You told you go to that whack ass steakhouse, Fogo de Chao. And she said, "Then why you never took me for?" You brag about stuff and you don't want to share with someone you like. That's corny. This is why I said whenever she wants to come to New York and eat some real good food, she could come, or I'll go over there because I'm a different type of person. Put your money where your mouth is. And now if you do it after I said it, you're doing it because you're trying to prove me wrong. If you had girls like you think you have girls, then you shouldn't worry about another girl not claiming you. Just move on. And stop talking about me. I could be an ex-felon, ex-convict. So you're making fun of me doing something legal to pay my bills. What kind of man are you? I'm paying my bills with something legal and you talking down on that. And my bills ain't cheap. If I wish I could tell you my lifestyle, but I don't want any more jealousy. I'm okay. And I'm paying my bills. And shout out to the P Show again for helping me sell more books. Cause now I might buy a G-Wagon now. Thank you. You feel me? I appreciate y'all. But at the end of the day, and oh yeah, one more thing, get the ebook because I get more money with the ebook and it's cheaper on your pockets. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Um,
and don't forget Conversations with King. That's
yeah,
coming out.
conversations with King. I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, the lead attorney is he doesn't get respect because he went at someone he doesn't know. He didn't give me a chance to speak because of hearsay. And now what happens is, yeah, he doesn't need me for his show. He's gonna be okay But deep inside his heart, I know something that he knows, and the world is going to find out. You're not confident with yourself as a man, because the way you handled that beautiful lady on stage, because she didn't claim you, showed a lot about you. The way you talked about a man you didn't know, just to make her feel bad for choosing no one, says a lot about you. When I found out they were talking about me, because some people called me to say I'm on his show, talking about a show, I text Lauren. I said, "Wow, that's not sexy at all, but thank you," and I blocked her because I don't want her to get in trouble, and I don't want to be a part of that. That's messy. If you're a player, you don't get messy. You keep it quiet. You keep it real quiet. No one should have known you and her were talking in the first place. That's how I would have kept it, Nupe. No one would even know we was talking. I would have did what I did, and we would have been like, who moves like that? He's not a player, and that's all.
All right. Well, I wanted to give you the opportunity, man.
Thank you,
You
man.
know, I know you hit me up in this, and
Well, you don't think he was a little bit excessive, though? Excessive, a little
say
bit.
it again.
Was he a little
Yes,
bit
yes,
obsessive?
yes. I wish he was here so I could talk to him. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
all right.
Again,
That's your rule. That's your rule. You don't talk about him. He's not here. I respect it.
yeah, you know what
I
I'm
wish
saying.
he
I
was
wish he
here
was here
too.
so I could talk to him, but and I'll talk to him later because like I told you, I fuck with you, and I'm gonna always fuck with you,
Right.
and you my nigga, and even though you pissed me off about that Dr. Dre shit, you put me in my place, and but we knew, so that's how we get down. So we
Right.
rock with each other. You know what I'm
And I show
saying?
deference to you because one, you've been in a part of the bond longer than me. One, I respect you as a man, and one, the thing I love about you the most is that you're transparent like me, but you have tact and you have grace. And
Yeah.
now I'm still learning that. And it's funny because I laugh because you had your first baby at 42, and I'm like, oh shit, is this like Back to the Future? Because I'm 41, I'm thinking I'm gonna get my first baby at 42 too. And you're a
Yeah.
Kappa, and you outspoken, but you're very intelligent. So I'm like, oh man, is God telling me something? I'm gonna end up like, So I respect you a lot, and I appreciate you giving me this platform. And I hope one day, you know, the lead attorney does what he do, or Lauren does what she does. But I think she's an amazing person, and I think her show is
Hmm.
gonna pop. But I think he's a sucker, and I think that, be honest with you, he's gonna run into a brick wall because he's not moving himself right. But you know what? He's probably like me. He probably doesn't care because he has money coming from other avenues. So he's like, I'm doing this for fun. I don't care if you like me or not. That's probably the reason. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, I'll talk to him. Because I join. So
Right.
I'll talk to him, and see how he feels, and it'll be private, and I'll see how we go, and we'll go
And he
from
could,
there.
he
I
come,
have
he
no
come,
idea.
he come, and we could do the whole thing, Lauren thing. I could not block her again. I could do we could do that whole Lauren thing, but I don't want to play with Lauren. Lauren is intentional with her dating. I don't want to play with her. That woman's
Got
intentional, so don't waste her time because it's not good. It's not going to be good for you if you waste the time because you're gonna if you could go to sleep at night knowing that a woman wants to be with someone in a structure of marriage, don't play with her like that.
cool.
Yeah. All right,
All right,
man.
Nuke. Look, we've been
5 minutes.
here, shit, 2.5 hours, and I got a whole the first video I got to delete. I'm not even on my software. I had to jump on this restream shit. I
Right.
like using Ecamm. It's
Right.
better, but I think it was acting up because it was my internet connection here in my
Okay,
store,
that's
and I
not your
pay
crib.
extra.
You usually do at your crib.
Yeah, I do it at my crib. This is actually my main setup. I do my backup set. I got two podcast. I got two podcast studios in my
Right.
house. So this is my downtown fashion studio, podcast studio. Then I got a podcast studio at the house, another one, and then I do it in my living room. But in my living room, I'm sorry, in part of my dining room, but part of my dining room is comfortable, so I like doing it there. But my internet at the house is super fast.
Mhm.
I pay extra money for this one to be fast, and it be acting up. So I got to clean up the whole video. I just wanted to get you an opportunity, bro. So fuck how my shit look, and this is not polished, and I hate when production value goes down, but
Mhm.
it's all good. People came in, people heard. I'm glad you have the opportunity.
Right.
You're gonna be. I don't have to wish you success. First of all, we fuck with each other. We do our Ask a Black Man on Thursday evenings.
That's another thing. That's another thing. Yeah.
So we got that going on. You know what I'm saying? Again, I felt like I was kind of like a middle guy because I fuck with the lead, I fuck with JR, I fuck with
Mhm.
Anton, and I fuck heavy with you. And I know that you didn't get a chance, and so I'm glad you got it out, bro.
Right. I appreciate you for giving me that chance. That's all I wanted.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Please take a what's the name of the book again?
Loving Life Through the Eyes of Travel. It's on
All right.
Amazon, Kindle, Apple iBooks, Kobo, every platform you get a book. It's on there. Love and Life Through the Eyes of Travel. Let me put it right here. Love and Life Through the Eyes of Travel. And then please subscribe to my YouTube page, Conversations with King, with a
I'll
K.
put it in the it's in the description. So if you guys just conversations with King, digital currency, you have an unlimited amount. So go ahead and hit that subscribe
Right.
button. Please subscribe to this channel.
Right.
I
And
go live every day.
one more thing.
So
The only reason I will ever go back to the Lapeef Network, if Lauren's gonna have me up there with TLA to discuss what's going on and you moderating it. I will come up there on Wednesday and me and him could go back and forth and explain who she deserves. That's the last time I will go on that page because I want her to know that this man is a bozo. Thank you.
all right, King. I'll
All right.
talk to you, Nupe.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Please subscribe. I feel weird when I gotta say because I gotta learn this shit. Please subscribe, like and subscribe, and because I feel like I'm begging motherfuckers. I just want you to like it because you like the content. If you like what I'm talking about, subscribe to me. But please fuck with my man King. Subscribe to Conversations with King, and please go to his Instagram. Follow him over there. His
Right.
links are both in the description of this video. And I appreciate you guys. Everybody have a wonderful Monday night. I'll see you tomorrow when I go live for my normal high value Shan because not only is Shannon a high value man, so is the content. All right, y'all. Peace. I'll talk to you, Nuke.
All right. Fine.
I don't even have an outro, man. This is all. I hate this. This ain't got no outro. I normally got everything set up. We'll be back to normal next time. Talk to you guys. Peace.